Hey there, guys. Just see if anyone pops in here. See if any viewers. There's 3, 4. What's up, guys? Don't have anything really planned for tonight. I'm kind of bored and just thought, let's see what the heck happens. So, figure we can maybe talk about my last video I just released on the ladder crane. So, we can get things started here. Got copied the clipboard. There we go. Copied. Boom. Close. So, yeah, one popped in, one popped out. Hey man, I love watching your videos. Cool. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. Where are you from there, Robert? I was hoping to have someone on tonight. Never heard back from them, so that fell through. Yeah, thank you. Like that crane thing, I'm hoping to actually get to use it. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Basically, I built it a couple months ago and really haven't got around to really using it yet. Newfoundland, Canada, sweetness. That's cool. I got 10 people out there. I was thinking of doing something live here. If there's any of the other YouTube creators that happen to chime in here, I can send them a link, throw it in the chat area there and bring them on. I don't really have anything in particular planned. We can talk about the ladder stuff. We can talk about life in general. It don't really matter to me. Ain't a whole lot going on tonight for me. So figured we'd throw something together, but I wanted to do something. So I figured we'll just go ahead and get started with that and just see what Louise, hey, Kentucky, sweetness. Hey, Zach. Yep, cool. Yeah, a bunch of people just popped in all of a sudden. There must be a delay on this thing. Heatmaster, what's going on, man? Not a whole lot, man. We're just kind of going by the seat of our pants. I kind of want to keep things on schedule. I basically started off with 2 of the most common people that I watch myself personally, and there's a few others I'd like to maybe bring on. But I don't want to have to rely on somebody for everything as far as to make the show happen. So I figured, we'll just do it ourselves and kind of go and see from there. Michigan. Hey, we got a little bit of everybody. It's always awesome to see all around the country and the world, basically. You got Canada. That's cool. So you guys like the crane video? It looks like it's gotten, I think it was 1,800 views or something like that. Ernesto was who I was trying to get on. I tried to get a hold of him last night on HVAC Overtime. I tried to get a hold of him through Facebook Messenger, and I tried to get to him through one of the other apps. I forget what it was, and he must not have any of them on. My wife was, when she was watching one of the first times or what have you, she told me that he was wanting to come on, so I figured, he'd be great to bring on. I was kind of curious, a little bit about him and things like that. And so basically, I thought he'd be great to bring on there, and that was kind of why I was wanting to bring him on. But it don't matter. Just whoever wants to come on is great. Iowa, sweet, awesome. What's some of you guys' experience levels out there? I mean, I was kind of curious if it's everyone's kind of, I've seen a little bit of everything out there, but wasn't sure if we've got everything from, beginners, people that are just wanting to get into the field, to guys that have been into it for quite a while. And what exactly are you guys working on? Are you just doing, are you doing the refrigeration stuff a lot? You doing the residential thing, commercial, aren't into it at all, just kind of curious about what goes on in the field? What draws you to the channel, I guess. I'm kind of curious. I know I have an interesting personality. Either you love it or hate it. So generally, it's how it is in real life for me. So it is what it is. Texas, awesome. Yep, we got people from all over the place. 12 years commercial, that's cool. 7 years, sweet. Yep, sweetness. I started off personally in residential was my majority of my things, and basically did some commercial refrigeration after being in the field. I would say probably 10 years into it, maybe 12 years into it, and I got into some refrigeration. And then, I did a couple restaurants and stuff every day, what have you. And basically, I didn't have a crap load. 40 years in mechanical, sweetness. And so what I show now, and the reason why I've been doing a lot of what I'm doing now is because that was what I had most questions on. And I assumed that maybe other people out there had questions on it too. So I kind of do that. But I also do a lot of residential still. Just about out of water. Forgot to grab one of those. Hint, hint. So, sweet. That's cool. Yeah, all different areas basically. 25 years is basically what I've been at. Shop talk. Hey, cool. What's up, Zach? Yeah, I could always bring you on, man. You like to be in reverse seat there. I'm more than willing to throw this out here. Boom. Chaka boom. There's that. So, basically, guys, like I said, I just wanted to do something. I don't have a lot going on tonight and kind of just wanted to see how it goes. Hey, Alex, what's going on, man? How's the tropics over there? I know you got the warmer climates and stuff. So, yep. Oh, yeah. Zach's pretty cool, though, man. He's got it going on. He's a lot more organized than what I am. I don't know how his beginning was, but, mine's been a little bit rough. But, it's kind of interesting doing this stuff. I mean, it took me 3 minutes to figure out why I couldn't get my GoPro to come on. And, date time. Oh, yeah, I can believe that. I would definitely go for date time over talking to me by far. Absolutely. Oh, hey, what's up, Jacob? Ohio too. Sweetness. We are the heart of it all. That's for sure. Heart of nothing around here to do. Hot. I couldn't imagine being hot. Today was like between 50 and 40 degrees. Kind of sucks. We're usually warmer by now, and it's just not happening for some reason. 41. Where you at, Rich? Got to throw in where you're from there. Man, it makes it a lot easier to kind of know my target audience here and what's going on. 26 years of podcasting. Wow. I didn't know you've done it that long. I guess I never had a chance to really sit down with you. I know we never did our interview, and we kind of never got a chance to do it, and I know things were kind of screwy and sketchy there. So, hey, there's Zach, or not Zach. My goodness, yeah. So, Isaiah, if I remember correctly. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, and you?
Not too bad. That's awesome. Yeah, I went ahead and added some floor monitors here that I had, and I was like, I'm going to see how that works without the freaking headphones because I really hate them stupid things.
Yeah, me too. I agree about that.
Cool. How's the business going there? You working with your uncle or grandpa? Which
My
one
dad.
is it? Dad. Okay. Not bad for not having it memorized. So how's things going? Yeah. Where are you from, I guess? What area of the country?
Orleans.
New Orleans?
Yep.
You guys had a big old outbreak down there.
And believe it or not, we're working right in the hot spot. We're working in on Canal Street on 9 buildings.
Really?
And it's bad over there.
Did you get anything, or anybody got it?
No, sir.
Good.
One of the guys in our group, his sister had caught it, the virus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. I got some video I'd like to share with some of the fellas.
Okay.
On a canal. I just did a condenser installation for a customer a good customer of ours that did some work in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, he called about 2 weeks ago and said his AC wasn't cooling. So when I went out there, I found the compressor was grounded. So I kept saying to myself, we said, now what excuse my French, what in the heck killed this dang unit? And sure enough, started the new unit up. 5 minutes of running, it started icing up. So we had low suction pressure and a high head pressure, which was a pretty good indication of a bad TXV inside. So I didn't leave it running. I just shut it down and left it off. I'm going back Monday and get some video on that and see what else is going on. So now I know what killed that thing. It slugged itself to death.
So they had flood back. Was it a TXV or was it a piston?
It was a TXV thermal expansion valve on the coil.
And was this a split air conditioner system?
Yes, sir. A little split system, a little 4-ton. Goodman was older. Goodman.
Is everything matched up?
Yes, everything was matched up. And I mean, what the old? Believe it or not, I find that the old unit cooled a lot better than the new one.
What brand do you guys usually use?
We
Use
usually use my dad sold Carrier for many years. He sold Carrier
That's
before he
what we
got
sell
out
too.
of installing.
Yep, Carrier's pretty decent. I mean, they've all kind
Yeah.
of went down a notch. I mean, none of them are perfect by any means.
Hmm.
I was with a
Yeah.
Linux dealer for a good
Hmm.
portion of my time, and we sold Carrier at the same time. And
Yeah.
just pretty much, you name it, we kind of work on
Yeah.
everything.
Linux makes some real nice commercial equipment. I've been impressed with theirs.
Who's that?
I think Linux has got some pretty dang nice commercial equipment for the setup. It's actually pretty easy. I know a lot of guys don't care for it, but it's relatively easy to work, but easy to troubleshoot.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, the residential, I mean, it's just like anything. It's almost like they hire all the rookie engineers because it seems like they're
Yeah.
always using something new and doing something different. And that's what always drove me
Right.
nuts about some of the Linux stuff is they'd have 4 to 6
Mhm.
different control boards for the same model furnace. And it's like, why
Hmm.
couldn't you have just made one work?
Yes, sir. Yep, and I got interested in HVAC when I was 16, which was a couple of years. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. I got interested in it. So my dad's
I,
been teaching me the trade, and I love it so far. It's been good to me.
yeah, I can't complain. I mean, I didn't know crap about it. It wasn't even what I wanted to do. I changed my mind at the
Hmm.
last minute. I was going to go for electronics. And basically, I just wanted to repair something and have a truck to take home. And guess what? They
Yeah.
have that here and it made sense to me. Everybody
Yes,
needs
sir.
heat or cool or refrigeration. They don't need electronics. And it ends up
Yes,
turning
sir.
into a throwaway society in the end, anyhow. So,
Yes, sir. And I agree about that.
yep.
When my dad first got started in HVAC, which was 40 something years ago, he changed one capacitor in his time, only because the wire the wire on the terminal on the capacitor kept burning so much, it burned so bad, we weren't able to get a stake on it anymore. And when you tested that thing, it was still good, reading a little bit over what the required microfarads were on the capacitor. Man, they don't make them like they used to, that's for sure.
No, it was too corrosive, and all the environmental crap ended up making the capacitors. They just went downhill. I
Yes,
think a
sir.
lot of it was the oil they had in them before, made them
Hmm.
last for quite a long time because the cooling was a big thing. I think they overheated, and that ended
Hmm.
up taking them out. And then they make them cheaper. I had a question in
Yes,
here
sir.
from somebody, and I can't find it now. He was asking about
Let me see if I
pressures
can
and
get it real
stuff,
quick. Hold up.
and I
Yeah.
want to make sure I cover it correctly for him, but I don't know where the heck it went to. I'm trying to find it here. For me, on refrigeration and stuff, as far as pressures and stuff, I look at the saturation temperature for everything. I don't look at the pressure as close as I do the saturation because 30 degrees in refrigeration or in 22 is 30 degrees and 410. The only thing
Yeah.
it changes is the pressures. So I look at the saturation temperatures for everything. And once you
Hmm.
start getting used to those temperatures, that's what I look at. And that's how
Yes,
I
sir.
follow it. So I'm not sure who it was that asked that question, but that
Yeah.
that hopefully answers it for them. I'm trying to scroll through here and find it, but I don't know where the heck it
Hmm.
went to.
Yes, sir. And my dad taught me a trick, for three phase actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There
Say
it
for
is.
instance, if you have a three-phase compressor that's locked up, you can reverse the rotation on the if it's a scroll, you can have, cross the rotation on the compressor and let it have it spin backwards, and then if that can't get it broken free, that's a little trick you can try on three-phase systems. And
Yeah.
I saw one of the guys I started watching, which is Rookie Refrigeration. He tried it and it actually worked. That's a little trick that he taught me.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I thought,
definitely, I could see it making a difference, possibly.
yeah, I can definitely see that too.
I
Yeah.
You can also switch it by changing your run and start windings, putting the
Correct.
capacitor on the opposite.
Hmm.
I've had times where people wired the condenser fan wrong, and you get there and it's running backwards, and it's like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
you look at it, it's the right motor, but when they were wiring it back up, they accidentally uh,
Hmm.
wired it wrong. That's what my little Annie device does, is it just switches them back and forth. CR refrigeration, do you guys use Hotshot 2 as a replacement for 12? We started out with Hotshot 1. I've used 409, and we do have Hotshot 2. If I can, I mean, yeah, it depends on whether they're using cap tube or they're using TXV. If they're using a TXV, I'll just go ahead and change the oil and throw 134A possibly in there. But if they're using a capillary tube, I'm a little leery about switching over the oil because they have a tendency to plug up afterwards. So hopefully that answers that for CR refrigeration out there.
Yeah, but I started watching your channel a year or two ago. I started watching. I've been pretty impressed with the videos.
Thank you.
Enjoy them. Oh, you're welcome.
I'm just throwing things together. I mean, you know, I'm better at residential than I am anything, so that's why, you know, I'd probably do better doing those, but I don't like doing it as much as I used to. So, I mean, that's where I'm more comfortable at, and I'd throw more advice out there. The refrigeration, honestly, like I've said before, I've only been with this company, this will be my 6th year in August, so that's when I really hit the refrigeration hard. So it's like I don't have near the experience with that as I do the other. Now, granted, it seems like I'm always working on little reach-ins and things like that, but they have switched me over to some are bigger stuff, but usually it only happens on call, so I don't get it during the day as much because we got guys that know the systems better, and so I get to learn about those at nighttime at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of during the day. So it's interesting though. So getting more things out there. What'd you think of that ladder crane thing that I made? Did you check that out?
Yes, sir. I was listening to that right as I was riding home from my buddy's house that night.
I haven't had a chance to try it out yet, but I mean, if it lifts my mower up, I figure it's going to lift up something to the roof. I figured it'd work.
Right. Yes, sir.
Sweetness.
What's up? We got Adam in the chat. A-Team Adam. What's up, brother?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Adam? You working tonight? You're on call all the time, aren't you? Yeah. If there's anybody else out there who wants to pop in too, we can put this back out there again. What the heck? Basically, all I got to do is click on the link and we can bring you into the chat. Basically, I kind of wanted to do this before. Here's Alexander coming in. See what we got going on here. There he is. Cool. Bring him on.
Yep. I've been doing a couple of videos on some of the projects around the house.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm trying to figure out how to make this work. We got this one here.
Yeah, let me mute the YouTube one moment.
Yeah, you don't want to, if you guys come on, you don't want to be having anything else running in the background because there's a little bit of a delay from what we're doing and what's going on there. And if you try to watch the other comments, they're going to be behind possibly 20 to 30 seconds and it'll throw you for a loop.
Yeah, I just muted the YouTube. I had it both of them
Cool.
at the same time. So I hear you better.
Which Alexander are you?
I'm from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. And are you the one I've talked to before? It's down there in the warmer climates?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, what do? You do work for a company, or do you work for like a resort, or what do you got going on?
No, I work for a small mechanical contractor. They do AC work, and I do most like PM and install, and they do VRF.
Mm-hmm.
And on my spare time, I do commercial refrigeration. And I worked on it before, so.
Sorry. Now, do you do a mixture of everything, residential, commercial, both?
I don't do a lot of residential, but the contractor I work for, he does a lot of commercial.
That's cool.
Yep.
And the previous contractor I worked for, they did markets, so I've done market refrigeration also for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm switching gears here to my other router, see if this does any better. I don't know if she's trying to watch YouTube crap at the same time as I'm transmitting or what's going on, because it was causing me to be blanked out, and I'm assuming that might have had it.
Yeah, speaking
what's that?
Speaking of which, fellas, that's what I like, doing residential HVAC a little bit, but to me, the commercial is a lot better for me. That stuff's made to be worked on, especially the refrigeration.
Mhm.
Yep. I like refrigeration. I've always liked something with it. I don't care if it's AC or refrigeration or what. I've always kind of liked it better than just the heating. I don't
Right.
know what it is about it. I like being out in the sun and kind of seeing, what's going on around me. I hate being stuck inside of a building all the time. It drives me nuts.
Yes, sir. It drives me nuts too. I can't stand to sit in my studio room all day.
I was
I
3 days in a row in the sun, so
Yeah, it's always warm where you're at.
yeah. It's so like these the today and yesterday it hit 100 plus in the like midday.
And you probably have the humidity there too, don't you? Since you're like right there on the ocean.
Yeah, I live on a coast town, but I'm like from the beach. I'm like 15 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's like you say, it's high humidity almost all the time. So it's like 75, 80 year long. So at night it gets a little colder. So
Now
Yep.
I've heard like on islands and stuff like that. You guys run a generator section. I mean, is it like a diesel generator, or what do you guys do
they
to
use
power it?
okay, some places they have like backup if they call it the standby generators. Some use diesel, some use natural gas. It
Yep.
depends
I'm
what
gonna head
they
out to
what
the
they set
fellas
up.
for a little bit. I got some guys I gotta talk to.
What's
Okay.
that?
I got a couple of guys I'm in a little video call, but I gotta get back to.
Okay, that's cool. I appreciate you coming on, man. I'll go ahead and catch you later.
All right, bro. All right, brother.
All
I'll
Okay.
be
right.
looking out for another video later. Later,
Yep,
Alex.
later.
Yeah, you too, man. Okay.
Cool. So, yeah, that's cool. So, do you guys ever have issues with it kind of blanking out, like it can't keep up electrically wise? Does that cause you guys a lot of issues, or?
Sometimes there's bad power, like ground power they call it. You get a lot of power outages, burns a lot of circuit boards. It does miracles on inverters. Roasty toasty.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I know
still
they
out of
make
that.
devices you can put on there to shut it down if it gets too low and stuff.
You can they have voltage monitors. You could put them with contactors that can shut the equipment off. We do that. I do that on most equipment. So I set them up like that.
Is that, I can't think of the name. I think they're actually made in the USA.
Yeah, they call them the how you say the tool name of it. They call them phase monitors or surge. They're not surge protectors. They call phase monitors or power monitors. They call them.
Yeah, they got a couple different ones. One's like about yay big, and it's got a digital
Yeah,
readout in it, and it's got 3 lines going in, three
yeah.
lines
That's
going
the
out.
DT. That's the Wagner DTP3. I think it's called.
Yeah,
You can use that
yeah,
with a contactor.
yeah, yeah. I've seen those, and we've used them. I know on some of the stuff we got different ones, different fancy features. Some just do the incoming power. Some of them do both sides of the contactor. It just depends on how fancy you want to get.
You can set it that same monitor. You can set it up. What I do is that I use it to cut the 24 volts of the contactor for the way I break the Y line on it. So if anything happens, they'll just turn off the condensing unit.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, and there's some other brands out there too. They use like one of the little relay block deals. It's got like the multiple pins all the way around it, and
Yeah,
yeah, I can't think of the name of that one, but I've seen that one in a few different applications. Some other company put them in. I was looking at them.
there's a lot of stuff that can be used. Due to like we're in a small place, it's like use what you have at hand, and it's a lot of like I'm like 100 miles from an OEM part, and sometimes people get El Cheapo, don't want to pay for it, so I rather go with, like aftermarket stuff.
Compressor costs a lot more than that device does, though.
Oh, that's true.
Especially if you guys are having very many of them, that would be kind of bad.
I know that surge protection is less than $100, and it takes about probably 30 minutes to hook up a couple of wire connectors and a couple of wires. It's not much.
Yeah,
The ocean breeze eats the coils. Oh yeah, somebody said the ocean breeze does eat the coils. Even though if you spray them, they have like special treatments you can use, and
yeah,
it still eats it. I mean, it takes more time, but you got to be on top of it all the time. You got to be painting it all the time. It's a pain in the neck.
yeah. Now, how about the aluminum coils? Are they a little more exempt from it, or do they still eat up
No,
just
if
like
if you're like close to the ocean, it's like a mile away, they'll eat it just
even
as fast.
aluminum?
Even aluminum, they
Wow,
go faster.
really?
Hmm.
I'll see. Like, what's up, Hughes, man? If you want to come on, click on the link there, man. Might get you some extra followers. Um, basically, like for us, we got something called sulfur water, which is where the people have sulfuric gas in the well water, and
Okay.
that will eat the copper. It attacks copper a lot of times, and it'll eat the solder, the braze joints out, and cause refrigerant leaks in the coil and stuff. And the aluminum's pretty resilient against it, so that's only one of the really good things about aluminum. And basically, it's done good on that. But I was kind of curious about the saltwater thing. I mean, I've
I know
only
they have
visited.
these they call them to like to stop the galvanic corrosion. It's like a lead ball you put on the pipe, you bolt it to the
Mm.
pipe, and it actually does the corrosion eats up the ball and they'll eat the coil. They look like little balls, and then they go by diameters. Like you put on certain places in the system.
Does it affect in the middle of the coil, or does it do it on the solder joints?
No,
Or
you put it on the pipes, on the like the inlet outlet, and it'll actually eat. I've seen it, the ball all eaten up, and the coil's not. The coil's safe.
so it attacks the braze joints more than it does anything.
Yes, and it'll
Gotcha.
eat the. I had a repair I did yesterday on some VRFs. The type of copper they're using, like they recycle the copper.
Mm-hmm.
It's like alloy, and if you try to torch, I have a pencil torch, and it'll make a hole in it if you're trying to repair the leak.
Yeah.
So I had to repair, what was it, 6 bends yesterday, and I have another machine, another setup to fix. I think it has more than one bend that's leaking.
Gotcha.
I fixed
Now,
9 on one machine once, so
now, how do people do they understand that that may not last and it could leak out again or whatever?
there was one that I had to fix more than once. So it was like this is like a factory. So we tell them when we build them, they look, it can pop up any other side again. It's corrosion's getting to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've
Yeah, if you guys want to come
actually,
on, just click that link there, and we'll bring you on there. Like I said, I didn't have nothing really in particular planned. I hoped I got the vlogger on here, but I couldn't get in contact with him. Sometimes, it's just hard to get a hold of people.
I
So
saw the notification on the phone. I said, well, hey, just hang out with buddies.
I was laying there just debating, man. I want to do something. Even if it don't last very long, I wanted to at least come on, to at least put something out there so that they can kind of have a consistent schedule. And that was my thing because it's hard to always come up with something in particular, especially right now with not a whole lot going on. I mean, we got a lot of PM work going on right now, and that's kind of nothing exciting to show.
I just
So
started working about what a week ago. I was 3 weeks off because
yeah,
of
we didn't
the
stop. I mean, we got a couple hours cut, but nothing major.
okay. I know one day it told me, hey, you got like 20 days vacation. You gotta take them. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
So I was off the whole month. I think almost the whole month for April was off.
yeah,
But
cool.
with all this craziness and all that other stuff, it is what it is.
Carrier chillers mandated coated microchannel coils within 5 miles of coast. I could imagine.
Yep. They
I
have that
ass-
coating. That coating is like I know they're black, and some third companies they make like a bronze coat. I don't know if you've ever seen them. Bronze glow. That's the name of it. That stuff does work,
Now,
but
how
you
about
have
the
to.
blue stuff from like is it Carrier, or I should say,
Yeah, I've used it. It
is it
does
any
work.
good?
It does work, but you gotta retouch it every like 2 ice a year or something, and you have to keep it clean.
I can see that. We use that for the sulfur water that I was talking about, and it helps slow it down. But the best one I've seen is where they kind of electroplate coat it, and it has like 7 processes of dipping and baking. And like we've done air conditioning and work and stuff in like a sewage treatment plant where they got all the gases and stuff from the sewage, and basically it goes through there, it cleans it, and it gets a pre-coat and blah blah blah, and it kind of recoats it, and then at the end they finally bake it, and it's supposed to be guaranteed for so many years. It's very similar to what a lot of the coils that are like black and things like that, very similar to that type of coating. And that's worked pretty good.
I know that I went to AHR this year, and they had a couple of like booths of the vendors that or people that actually do that type of job with the coatings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really amazing to see how far that's gone was it used to be like something really complicated and something that's it's cost effective and it's easy to do. You know, anybody with the proper training can do it. I mean, the person trains you for a day, and then they give you they authorize you so they can use that type of product to treat the coil.
Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, it's so. Other than that, I mean, do you have much heating or anything like that, or
No, it was like it's tropics.
uh-huh.
But the inverter and VRF, most of the ones I installed, they are heat pump. You just configure them for cool only. Some I've installed the cool only ones. It was for a facility they were concerned about the size of the condensers,
Mm-hmm.
and the cool only condensers are a little bit smaller than the heat pump ones.
Mm-hmm.
Same compressor, same capacity, same. It's just one's like more compact, one smaller.
Yeah, we do a lot of heat pumps and stuff, believe it or not, because a lot of my work is out here in the residential, or not residential, residential. I always get this, the rural areas, basically out in the country, stuff like that. And so we got a lot of heat pumps. A lot of people have LP gas. And so they use a combination. They'll run the heat pump down to 30 degrees area. And then if they got a high efficiency one, they'll run them a little bit lower. Sometimes they'll go down to, you know, if you got like a high efficiency carrier unit with the variable speed compressor, we might run them down to 10, you know, or if they got a geothermal, might run it down to, you know, 5, just depends. It may switch over after it runs for 20 minutes in first, you know, in the first stage of heat or whatever. So cool.
I know they say VRF is like, you know, trending in that now. They want to not to substitute LP or natural gas, but it does a good job at heating.
Yeah.
So, but they'll do the cost and more of the applications, and probably like natural gas is cheaper. So
Daniel's asking what supply houses are in Puerto Rico.
we have a carrier to a line. There's a Odash. They're in Florida also, and we have if anybody's from the Florida area, you know, Refri Center. We have them in Puerto Rico, so there's a couple of stores. I live about 5 minutes from one, so.
Well, ain't bad. Now, do you have just like a regular
Yay.
service van and stuff?
Well, I use I use a pickup truck. So it broke down this week, so they let me use one of the vans.
Yeah. I've got a Nissan 2500, NV 2500 is what I got. I know a lot of the guys have asked about me doing a van tour, which I cleaned it up last week, and I really don't know what they want to see other than maybe the tools, because we don't carry a lot of parts. I mean, pretty much.
Do you have the tall one?
What's that?
The tall one, right?
No, we've got some of those.
The box.
Yeah, mine's the standard size. I could fit the taller one in my barn, but yeah, I don't really want it because you can't get into a lot of places with that thing. Garages, things like that.
We have a lot of like there's one place we service that it's you have to park in the basement. And the only vehicles that can fit there is one of the vans and the pickup truck, because of the space, you know, like you say, the clearance they have for you to go through. So
Gotcha.
the one I was driving was a Ford Ranger. It's a stick. I don't like automatic a lot.
Yeah,
but
I had a Ranger back in high school. That's been a long time ago.
And it was one of my and I had a '94 one for the first car, the first truck. I ran it for like 5 years until I sold it. Then I bought a old used car, and that was the one that lasted the most with me. It lasted like 6 years. Then I bought a Mazda pickup truck, which was the Ford Ranger clone.
Yeah.
And I had that one for a year and a half. I told that one too, so I have a little bad luck with cars.
Yeah, we have 2 full-time auto mechanics at our shop, so we buy the trucks used. Like my truck came with, I think, 80,000 miles on it, and but we run our trucks sometimes 200. You know, we had some that actually hit 300, but usually 250,000 miles, which is crazy. And
I know if you keep it up, there's no problem.
Yeah, mine's starting to get a little bit of rust on it already, which kind of sucks because I mean I don't like to have something that don't look very nice. I mean, where I was at before, we used to replace them after about 3 years, and we give them to the installers at about 100,000 miles. And then the service guys, because we see more people, they usually gave them the newer ones, and then we swap them out. But that company also paid a lot less than where I'm at now. So I guess I have to take the good with the bad. I'd rather get
Yeah.
paid more than have a fancy new truck all the time. So yeah, it is
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
Pickup truck where I drive it, so it has almost 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Our
And
controls guys have got the trucks. They got full size Fords basically.
okay, the van type.
Um, no, they're actual pickup trucks with a bed, and they have a capper on the back.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Hertz there is wanting to know if you lived in the States. Your English is great, no accent at all.
I was born and raised in New York,
Ah,
so New York, old New York City, Lower East Side. So I, and then I went to school and the books were in English, so I kept it up.
then Johnny's asking, do they install geothermal in Puerto Rico?
Of what I know, no.
Probably wouldn't be worth it, would it? I mean,
They had I know that these weed plants, the ones for like the where they grow the weed in,
mhm.
they use VRF heat pump, and some server rooms they have special machines for them, like Libert, and there was another off brand that they have that was heat pump that controls humidity and all that other good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a mixture of everything around here. I mean, gas furnaces, heat pumps, electric furnaces. Hey, look at this. Boom. Hey, what's up, Adam?
How's it going?
Not too bad,
He's
man.
alive.
Yeah, he ain't working. That's amazing.
Yeah,
The joys of owning your own business.
right.
So,
I've been playing with computer troubles tonight.
really, why is that?
I don't know. I was just trying to work on a couple things for the show, and the program I use crashed. I still
He
haven't figured.
jinxed it.
Yeah,
What program are you using?
OBS.
See, I would like to use that. My son, he was into this YouTube stuff way before I was. I used to make fun of him for staying up all night doing it and things, and then next thing you know, here I am. But he showed me it, and he showed me how you can bring on a guest with it. And it's supposedly really solid, but man, I don't know. I just don't know if I have the time to try to figure it out.
You could do a ton with it. It's just a matter of learning everything, So
But for your show you're doing now, though, you're using StreamYard, though, aren't you?
and OBS.
Both.
Yeah.
Are you like doing one or the other?
No, I'm doing both at the same time. That's kind of how I'm what do you call it? That's how I'm like adding all the different videos and everything in. I don't think I'm going to use StreamYards anymore. I think I'm going to switch over to Skype.
And I've wondered that because I mean, it don't seem like a lot at first, $20 to $25, but you start doing the math, and it's like, shit, man, that's a lot of flipping money.
Yeah.
I know the Zoom lets you do it for free up to 6 people at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a scam, and honestly, the resolution sucks. I mean, the best I can do is 720, and my camera's able to shoot at 1080, and I don't know, I'm not too thrilled with it. I mean, it looks better than what it did. But
I've used it for like computer, like for web chat and stuff like that. And like I have a normal computer. I don't have nothing fancy, so I don't know how it looks. If it looks grainy, or if it looks okay. I don't know if the sound breaks up or whatever.
You're not bad. I mean, I can understand you. You're a little dark. That's your biggest problem. If you have more light, it'd probably help you out.
Yeah, it's just a little light. Yeah, I have a light problem here. It's not really that bright here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm using my GoPro Hero 7. When I got it, it has a clean output, as they call it. So that's why I can use that. And I mean, otherwise, like when I first talked to Zach way back in the beginning, he's using a Sony camera that runs somewhere around the 600 range. And I thought about maybe getting that. I was into photography back when I DJ'd and stuff. So I had a Nikon, what was it? I don't know. It was about $1,000 for the body, but it was about 5 years old, and so the HDMI, it could only run like 10 or 20 minutes, and it would shut off. So I ended up selling that off and put the money into the computer. And And I thought, well, the GoPro will come in handy for, it's got the smooth stabilization, and then I could also use it for this stuff, which, I mean, for the most part, it's working out pretty good.
So what are you? Are you
LED lights
using,
going.
do you have a cam link, or what are you using?
Yeah, I got the Cam Link right here. It's the 4K one, and then I got the Rode Procaster, or the Rodecaster Pro mixer. Then because originally, I mean, I was going to use my I got an Allen and Heath digital mixer that I do bands and stuff like that with, but I thought, man, I don't want to have to fool with an iPad while I'm trying to run a computer to control it. So it's a lot easier to have the controls right in front of me, which is more what I'm used to anyhow.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk myself into buying the Rodecaster, but I feel like I'm buying everything twice.
Yeah. Well, you got the expensive microphone there.
Yeah.
Are you using the, what are you using for your mixer now?
I have the same one that Zach has. He told me to get the Mackie FX8 or whatever, but there's just issues with that, with taking phone calls, and that's what I found. I don't know. Zach figured out how to do it, but I think it's a lot easier to do with the Rodecaster Pro. It's a lot more streamlined, right?
Oh my God, it's so simple. Like right now, my phone is connected to it. So if I could take a phone call and I can talk to them through this microphone, and it'll come through the handset to them. And so we have an excellent connection. I got the upgrade pack for it, and so I can also do it through the headphone jack, and it's even more clear. And then I can record right now as we're doing this. I can do 4 microphone ins. I got 4 headphone outs. I've got a master going to my floor monitors, which is how I'm getting away with no headphones right now. I got an individual USB input to control volume level. I got my phone, and then I've got my touch pads, which you got all these things that, all the hot pads. Basically, I can put all these different sound effects and things like that. So Chris bought it first, and I seen it at the Sweetwater show over in Indiana, and I got a pretty good contact over there, and he knocked me some major money off. So I ended up getting it for a little less than the normal price, which is almost $600. But
yeah. I wish I would have listened to Chris. I talked to Chris and Zach at the same time when I bought it. And I don't know why. I'm like, well, the one that Zach told me was quite a bit cheaper. And Chris is like, I'm telling you, this is what you need to buy.
Yep.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, Zach has quite a production show going on. He knows what he's talking about. And I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just, now that I know more about what the Rodecaster can do, it's so appealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to spend it because I spent $1,000 some on my Allen Heath mixer. So it was like, man, do I really want to spend the extra money on this? But I wanted to do voiceovers for my for a couple of my videos that I did. And then, man, you ever notice it's hard to read and talk at the same time? It's difficult. And so, I mean, I don't know. The guy threw out a good price, and I couldn't help it. So I just had to buy it. So I was like, yeah, let's get that. So I can't complain. And anyway, I looked at it too, because it is what it is. I can turn around and sell it, and I probably won't lose much more than, at the most, maybe $150.
Right.
Whereas, some of the other ones, you're going to lose a lot more. And there ain't nothing wrong with Mackie, because Mackie is actually what my speakers are. I've got the Mackie 450s on the floor. I've got their 1521s for their high ends, and then and I DJ'd with that stuff for years, and it's still working fine.
Yeah, Mackie was always a nice. I played in bands and stuff, and Mackie was always a nice pro audio brand.
What'd you do in the bands?
Bass guitar.
Cool. It's always interesting to hear this shit, because it's like we all have a similar background on certain things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I run sound still for church, and I also run it for a Christian band and stuff, and that's kind of why I got the mixer and stuff. And basically, I'm able to do that live, which is awesome, because I'm walking around the venue with the iPad mixing it, and I'm able to go up and do the monitors all individual, which is awesome. So Hughes man was a bass player too.
Yeah, I have half of my stuff up here. I sold tons. I had so many bass guitars. I sold them. I only have one left. I have a Gibson Thunderbird. I had a bunch of Stingrays and Sterlings. Music Man. I have he probably would know about this. I have a Mesa Bass 400 Plus with a Mesa cab. and then downstairs I have the Ampeg SVT2 Pro. Those are my. If I needed money, I could sell them because they don't make them anymore, and they sound amazing. Tube heads, but it's kind of like nostalgic, I don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, and you probably won't get what you want out of them anyway. You'll just regret it.
Right.
I mean, that's the same way with the DJ stuff. I mean, I still got all the lights and all that, and it's like, what if things went wrong and I needed to make money? I can always go out and do some crappy DJ jobs to make money. I always wanted a backup plan just in case. Had one CR Refrigeration's asking field piece probes or Testo. My opinion is the field piece probes all the way. I have the Testo, I forget, it's a 905i. The one that basically has a higher temperature range. I use that for my supply ducts, like when I need to go over the 140 range or whatever it is, because the field piece can't do that. So that's the only time I use the Testo for that. What about you? Do you use either one of those?
I like field piece. I've never been a big. I got burned on Testo right when their I don't even remember what the model was. Their first digital manifold came out. We bought 5 of them right when it came out, and like 3 out of the 5 broke within a few weeks. So we sent them back. They're like, we'll send you new ones. No, that's all right. Thank you.
And now, is that the one that came out kind of before the similar style that they've got now? It was kind of a different look to it, and it was kind of expensive too.
Yeah, and it was, it was probably 10 years ago, but that was the one where it was like super sensitive to water, and then what else? There was another issue with the clamp, the temperature clamp. I can't remember what it was. You had to ground it or something goofy. It was something weird. Like, it was just a hassle. And then I switched over. I bought the DigiCool. I use that forever, and then I don't think they support it. They don't sell parts anymore. So
yeah, they dropped out of them. I didn't like the looks of them, was the only thing I didn't like. And, I heard good stuff about them. Everyone said they were really reliable.
I didn't like the manifold that they gave you with it. So I bought the adapters and I used the JB manifold and just used the gauge set itself.
Alexander says he has some German-made 550s. My 550s don't say where they're made at, but I know they're not German because they don't reset back to zero like my 557s did. My 557s work great. My first set got stolen out of my van, and then the next set, the transducer started going out, and that was after I've already sent them back for other things, and then they're like, yeah, it's going to be X amount of dollars, and I'm like, yeah, it ain't worth it, because basically the cost was going to be too close to just going with something new. So I was like, forget it. Whereas before they said they were cheaper than that.
I'm trying to remember now. I haven't talked about it in a while, so I don't remember the model. But I have the new S-Mans. I can't remember the model.
With the wireless probes?
Yeah. The JobLink probes that I have. I mean, it doesn't come with the JobLink probes, but I added the wireless clamps on it.
They don't come with the clamps?
It comes with the clamps, but they're wired.
So you got to buy those separate then.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. How much were those?
I don't remember. I bought them. I don't know. It was over a year ago. I don't remember what it was. I got them from True Tech Tools. Used you always get a discount. But prior to that, I had the new, which we still have. I have it on the install truck now. The what are they? The Yellow Jacket. What are those things called? The color screen thing.
Oh, the touchscreen one?
Yeah, not a big fan of that. I just don't like I emailed them. They never responded to me. I don't like how the hook is straight. I don't like how it doesn't pivot at all. It's not very long whatsoever, so sometimes it's hard to clamp on. Just worried they want you to store the clamps and everything, and it's just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of those.
Now, they had 2 different ones. Now, you're talking about the one that was the higher end one, right?
Yeah, the color. Yep. Sure, I
know what's his name? He was from Chicago too.
870. That's it.
Yeah, I thought this was supposedly had a pretty good sensor on them for like doing the vacuum and things like that. HVAC dude, that's who it was. He had them and he really liked them.
I listened to. There was so much hype when they first came out, and I listened to it and I bought them. And like right after the first week, I'm like, wasn't a big fan. So I bought the S-Mans. I love the S-Mans, the new S-Mans. But I have that Blue Vac Professional Plus Pro vacuum gauge. That's awesome. I love that. You know?
The round one?
Yep.
See, I want to get it, but it's like $350, and I have, as you see in my videos, I got the older one, and it's like, other than the Wi-Fi, it does the same stuff, and it doesn't, and it doesn't have that pass or fail thing. But I've been told that if Chris was telling me that the little dinky one, even though it don't have it built into it, when it uses the app, it supposedly will tell you the same information. It's like a lot less money though.
Yeah. I don't know. I bought a kit it was the Mega Flow kit with that, the Appian kit. So that's the only one I've ever used. Blue Vac, but it's awesome. I'm sold on it.
Yeah, I mean, they've been foolproof. Prior to that, I never had a vacuum gauge last much more than maybe a couple of months to maybe a year. And that's the only one that I've been able to hit with pressure and refrigerant and everything else. And I haven't had no problems till just maybe a few months ago. And I was scanning around some of the HVAC forums, and they had the owner's name in there, and I contacted him direct, and he ended up completely putting new circuit boards in it for me for $35 and shipped it back to me.
Yeah,
so,
they're awesome, because we had an issue with ours too, and it was user error. Like twisting it basically, and it kind of screwed up some of the wiring on the inside. Sent a new one out right away. Boom. Like no questions about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and that to me it's just like field piece. I mean, they're maybe not a fluke, but they stand behind their product, and that right there is a lot of it.
Yep.
That to me, I mean, I'll give up certain things, and there's certain things they do really good, and there's other things that they're just okay at. So I mean, the Job Link probes, I love them. I loved their first one. That was so basic, but man, that thing, I still got it. It still works great.
Have you tried out the other? I mean, I'm kind of like a tool whore,
Me too.
So I've tried. I had the Mantooths when they came out. I don't know if you were familiar with those.
Yeah.
Yellow jacket probes.
Yeah. They didn't take off.
No, they were goofy. And my whole point was I actually gave them to, Mike. I don't know if you remember Mike, the big guy from, was he North Carolina or South Carolina that was on our show with us?
I don't think.
HVAC porn. No.
What was his name?
Mike.
He had a stage name?
HVAC porn.
I don't think I remember. I didn't used to watch a whole lot of anything until I started wanting to do more refrigeration. And then that was when I started watching Jim.
Right.
That was probably, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago. And then I ran into NorCal, and eventually I seen Chris. And it's funny how you miss a lot of people. And the only way I found a lot of people was by looking at who they're subscribed to. And that's kind of how I found a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Otherwise, I mean, unless you're searching for them, you just don't see them.
Right. But yeah, those things sucked. I don't know. They always get tangled up because they're like, there's the clamps are corded. There's cords that run to the pressure transducers, right? And it was just a pain. So I didn't like them. I bought the Sporlan Smart Tools. I did like those, and I was on Sporlan all the time talking to them. I'm like, "Are you going to upgrade these at all? What do you mean?" I'm like, are you going to make them actually smart? What do you mean? I'm like, have you ever heard of Measure Quick? No. And I always, whenever there was a rep or whatever, like at a conference, I was talking to him about it. No, we're done with that. I'm like, you really should do something. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had an email. Measure Quick now works with Sporlan Smart Tools.
Yep. I mean, it's only in their interest. I mean, I hated my field piece probes until Measure Quick came out, because I mean, their program was so bad that it was like, what the hell?
Well, I think that's why. What is the?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, ZZ.
This guy.
Yeah.
Man, I was right. They will let anybody in on the show.
You damn right. I ain't got nothing going on, man.
Holy
It's
crap.
like I was sitting there on the couch. I'm like, well, I couldn't get a hold of a vlogger, and I'm like, who else do I watch? So I'm start looking through it. I'm like, man, it probably ain't right for me to try to get a hold of him 10 minutes beforehand, huh? So
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go live and see what happens. It's like, whatever.
Might as well do it for the fun, man, not for the
That's
fame,
honestly the
unfortunately.
real thing. I mean, that's what I love most about it. It's like, I
Yeah,
get to be
you gotta-
popular for a day.
Got to do it for the fun. Just ignore
That's
the
the
fame
only
and
reason.
fortune.
Yep. I mean, I love the $300 million checks I get every month in the mail, but
That's it?
yeah, I know. I'm taking a cut.
Man, telling you what, you got to start adding more commercials in between, at the beginning, at the end.
Are you making fun of me?
Start doing some product reviews.
I'm doing 3 commercials, sometimes 4 in between there. But if you pay the $12 a month, you don't have to watch them. So
Nice.
But hey, it takes me sometimes 4 freaking hours to make some of those videos because I'm not thinking out what I'm going to do, and so I got a lot of cutting, and then I misspoke, and then I say something stupid, and I'll say like probe when it really was a gauge, and it's like.
Yeah, see, I don't find myself like misspeaking. I find myself like stuttering a little bit, like I just did right there, because I got to wait for my mouth to catch up to my brain.
Mm-hmm. Or you're trying to think about what you're going to fix, and then you're trying to explain it, but at the same time, you're not really sure yourself, so you kind of make a mistake.
And then at the same time, you have to keep in mind, like, how is this going to come across on film?
Mm-hmm.
Am I highlighting the right things? Am I saying it correctly? Am I speaking correctly? How's my audio?
Then you always have in the back of your head, you're like, am I doing anything wrong that's going to piss off a lot of people? But they think I'm a hack.
I usually know that. And then I talk quickly. So usually some of the people that English isn't their first language, they usually jump on me. You speak too fast, and it's like, that's just how I am. I can't help it. It's like, if you hit that fast forward, the forward or backward arrow, it'll take you 5 seconds to 15 seconds. You can program it and it'll jump back, boom, boom, that far. And you can just instantly boom, boom, back and go over it again.
Well, then also, if they really want to, they can slow down the speed of your videos if it's such a big inconvenience for them.
True.
Yeah, I like to do the opposite to Joe's videos. I watch them and like
beat them up.
That's hurtful. I love it.
Yeah. See, I
haven't seen Joe pop in here at all yet.
No, Joe? Yeah, where's Joe?
He's probably somewhere being angry at somebody.
Yeah, he probably thinks you don't like him, Rick.
He's probably hiding his guns because, they just got them taken away even worse.
In Canada?
Yeah, they weren't. I didn't think they were allowed to have much of anything other than a 22, and they had to keep that at the police station.
Yeah,
but now I guess they're
got the, what is it? All assault rifles or something? Or
yeah, pretty much anything that goes boom. They had some big shooting or some crap, and then they decided to get rid of whatever was left. So
my guns are so big they shoot other guns out of them.
Mine all fell in the creek, and then they washed into a pond, and then I don't even know where they went. And then
serial numbers fell off.
Yeah, everything happened. I don't even know what happened. I had delusional flashbacks, and I'll just pretend. So
kind
whatever.
Like the Manchurian Candidate, aren't you?
What's that?
Kind of like the Manchurian Candidate?
Yeah. I feel like that's the government in whole. They're all Manchurian candidates.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I had that in my mind. I just got done watching the new movie Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. So
it's actually a really good career to get into it. I'd recommend, trying to tell any child to run for Congress. If you run 2 terms, you get paid for life. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. You get lifetime, I don't know, was it insurance, probably retirement. But yeah, they pay it for life anyway. So
have you ever heard of Convention of the States?
Nope.
Well, basically, I think it's the 6th Amendment. Basically, you're able to call a convention of the states, and you can basically bypass and take over the rules process for Congress, and it puts the people in control. You got to get a majority of the states to combine together, and basically you open up the Constitution, and you can do some amendments. Supposedly, there's safeguards in there so that, the reason why you're trying to do it, those will be the only reasons you do once you get in there. Because I know some of the naysayers will say that once you open up the Constitution, then you're taking a chance of some people getting in there and taking away a lot of rights that you didn't want to lose. But a lot of them, like what they want to do is they want to see term limits on, Congress, this insurance and all this crap for life. Screw that. I'd like to see all that crap gone.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, like, you hear these politicians arguing about stuff in these bills that they pass and this and that, you know what I mean? And they're sending out a couple $1,000s to people for their relief. Yeah, Congress is still getting paid. And what was it last week? I don't know if they're back now. I haven't been paying attention this week, but Nancy Pelosi was stuck at her house. She didn't want to leave and go back to work while the country's freaking shut down. Pretty much every freaking American would agree on term limits and my one big thing I would say, you want to fix the country and the deficit and everything. If you don't balance the budget every single year, everyone is fired from Congress, period. Yeah. And your opponent, your running opponent, they all come into Congress. Now it's your turn to try to figure this out.
It was never meant to be a lifetime job. I mean, these people have been here for 30 and 40 years. Nancy Pelosi's 80 or 81 years old. I mean, it's like,
really?
why the hell do you want to die there? It's so
Shouldn't
wrong.
even be driving.
It's like, it's a power thing. It's all about power. Why does Trump need to be president? It's because he's accomplished everything else and he wants
That's what I feel.
a notch on his belt, right?
Yeah. And that's good because we'll benefit from it if he's able to get us back on track. I mean, at 72 years old, why would you come in, work for free, and you know that you only got maybe 10, 20 years to live, and you're going to waste 8 years of your life potentially being pretty much backstabbed by everybody in the world.
One of the most stressful
made out to be a
positions
bad guy
yeah.
no matter what you do. I mean, he could cure cancer, and they would somehow twist it that he basically was a dirty bastard somehow. So, I mean, it's just, he wasn't my first pick, but I think he's done fairly good for what he's been doing. But, whatever. Not one person's going to be able to fix all this mess.
You would have had a less stressful time just staying in wrestling.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to watch. I'd like to see him and some of the other congressmen get in the ring.
Well, what's the dude's name again from Bill? What are you're talking about an event that Trump was at. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah, WrestleMania.
What was his name? The head dude.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, his wife is in the in Trump's cabinet somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, and also President Trump is also the only president that is also in the Hall of Fame of wrestling, the WWE Hall of Fame, which is crazy. He wasn't even that good of a wrestler.
What's funny is Trump used to actually be Democrat, which really seems obnoxious for being a business owner. But I made the mistake of saying something about that around one of the business owners that we do a lot of work with, and I didn't know that he supposedly was. And
oh yeah, so you got to watch. You really got to know your audience when you're talking politics or religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've stayed out of it some, but I don't charge a whole lot for them to watch the videos. So if that makes them turn off the camera, then whatever.
I don't really care. Honestly, if somebody has the exact opposite opinion of what I think, I'll still be able to sit down and chit chat with you and on a civil basis and, hey, let's have a beer or whatever.
As long as
people out there that are like, this person's evil, I want nothing to do with them, I can't have an intelligent conversation with them, blah, blah, blah. And I just think that's wrong. You know what I mean?
As long as the other person is being civil, because I've tried to have civil conversations with people who believe in a lot of the opposites of what I believe. And it didn't go well because, for one, you can't get a point across, and when they try to, I guess, counteract or whatever, counter talk your point of anything, they usually, it just turns personal, and then I'm just like, well, whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to change your mind, so we'll just shake hands and walk away. How about that?
Pretty much. I mean, if they can't beat you with facts, they'll just smear you.
It kind of goes outside the realm of politics, but in today's day and age, there's a lot of people that just have a lot of emotional problems, and it can stem from politics or religion or whatever it stems from, but people get so emotional and bent out of shape, and then they go on shooting sprees and all sorts of crazy stuff. And then later on it finds out like, oh, he was a Republican, he was a Democrat, or he was a Christian or a neo-Nazi or whatever. We got a lot of mental health and emotional issues in this country. I
mean, everybody's got all kinds of things going on. It's you never know.
I think it's pretty funny that you see now, like the far left or the far right on either side. They're so much different and more extreme than what they were like 20, 30 years ago, right? So, like the middle of the road now, that would be considered either, depending on their views, either far right or far left. But now they're pretty damn close to each other, middle left, middle right. The extreme is just such an extreme now.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go one way. Because, I mean...
it'd be nice is if one day our political system just came down to, are you American? Sure am.
Right.
Well, let's get out and vote instead of, are you Republican? You Democrat? We should fight because we don't believe in the same sort of thing.
But now it's like, you're Republican, you voted for Trump, or you support Trump, you're a Nazi. You're a racist, Nazi, and you hate women.
And a bigot.
Yeah.
Just like all the bitching and complaining about this shutting down the country thing, it was at the same time he did that, they was telling him, saying that he was a racist and a bigot for doing it. And then they were up in New York saying, hey, come to Chinatown. I watched that little tidbit. So at the same time they're saying that he didn't shut down the country, they were inviting people to come to New York, which ended up being an epicenter later of problems. And it's like, it's such a double standard. Nobody wants to double check anything.
Yeah,
But-
the last place I want to go is New York right now.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I forgot to wash my hands.
Yeah,
You're going to die now.
I just actually bought this off of somebody from eBay. And what we were talking about, Rick?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm using right now.
It was off somebody from eBay, and he's like, "Stay safe out there." I'm like, "You stay safe too." I'm like, "Where?" I'm like, "Just by the way, where is this being shipped from?" He's like, "Brooklyn, New York." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
My meter I bought come from Washington State. So, I mean, you know, I'm like, oh, well, by the time it gets here, hopefully it'll be dead.
I think
Yeah.
they say, what do they say, that COVID can survive on surfaces for, was it 24 or 72 hours or something?
3 days for stainless steel and stuff like that on rough surfaces. And then cardboard was like supposedly up to 24 hours. But, you know, that ship that they had all them passengers on, they went in there 16 days later and it was still in the air.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really one of them things where I think they don't have a clue.
well."
Yeah.
Next week on the show, I'll be switching over, coming live from the Corona cam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm shooting 1080 right now, but it's only this 720 is the best this program can do.
Listen to all you techie guys. I don't even know what I'm shooting. I could be shooting like 40 whatever gigabytes or whatever you guys are talking about.
What kind of camera are you using?
Logitech. It's
Like,
a 1080.
I think that one does. It might do 1080, but even this 1080, supposedly according to specs, I bought one too, and supposedly even the 1080 one doesn't do as good as what their old 720 did. And then that one first live stream I did where everything went wrong, I used whatever my computer is, and it did okay. But
Hey, speaking of gadgets, you guys iPhone or Android guys?
Android,
Android.
No, yeah, so am I. But rumor is we're companies switching over to iPads and iPhones, and
How does that make you feel?
it makes me feel confused.
Yeah.
I bought this little
Weird.
product off of, I saw it on one of those Instagram ads. I think it's pretty cool. Just came in today. Check
what
it
is
out.
it?
The safe.
Oh yeah, you bought one of those?
Yeah, dude. Because
What
I'm
is
always
it?
like freaking out when you go to a store, like a gas station or whatever, to go inside.
Yeah.
You're always using your hand to open the door. And if you're touching the keypad on your credit card in, you use it to touch the keypad or use it to hook the door and open it, so you're not using
Yeah, the trick is you got to lick your hand before you open the door.
yeah.
It's
But
weird.
supposedly it doesn't look like it says it's solid copper because like
Yeah, see,
copper is
I've seen
antimicrobial.
those
It doesn't look
commercials.
like it's real copper to me.
I don't understand how it like you don't have to wash it or anything. I don't understand that.
Well, that's the point of copper. Copper kills viruses, bacteria. They call it the living surface because it kills any. It's like naturally antibacterial. Copper.
Yeah.
That cost you? How much did that cost you?
It was kind of a lot, actually. I bought 6 of them.
6 of them.
Yeah,
Your whole family.
one from my wife, myself,
Mother's Day?
my dad, my mom, my stepmom. I don't remember. A bunch of people. Just trying to keep everyone alive.
How much was it?
I think I paid $100 with shipping for 6 of them.
Oh, okay. I was going to say for one, that sucked.
I'll just make my own. I'll just get some copper pipe and melt it down and
I mean, you could, right?
use an old skeleton key as a form.
It's just kind of cool because it has a bottle opener on it, and it has a hole, so you could actually put it on your keychain too.
That wouldn't be all bad. Where are they made at? You have any idea?
Probably China. It probably comes from the side of Corona.
It's probably
That'd
that
be
fake
great.
copper. I bet you a magnet will stick to it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
copper coated paint.
Yeah.
Chronic Food says just wash your hands. Yeah, but when you're like in stores and stuff, and then you're in your car right away, you're grabbing your door handle and everything in your car. You start getting paranoid. Especially, I don't know about everyone else, but in Illinois, we're like number 4 in the country right now. We're on pace
Way
to
to go.
number 3. We're succeeding.
Look at you guys overachieving.
Yep.
You guys coughing all over each other, trying to get them numbers up.
Here you go.
And be honest,
I'll get it out of the way there. They wanted to see it one more time.
you guys hear an
Let's see
echo or
if-
is it just-
can I put him as the main one? Let me see here. Nope. Let me see this. How do you pick one person? Got
I don't know.
that.
They could probably just look it up and get a picture of it online too. It's called the Safe Touch.
Safe touch.
Ooh, kinky.
Safe touch for your protection.
Safe touch. I see it's ribbed for somebody's pleasure.
I don't know why it's ribbed. It's not ribbed enough to like open a box or something, but I'm sure you could open a box with it.
You probably sharpen the back side of it.
On Facebook, somebody asked that very question, and I forget the response from. It was another company that makes those, but they had some sort of reason for it.
What's that?
I don't remember. I didn't care enough to read all the comments. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I
either put the hand sanitizer on or I'll put my my gloves on or something. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
a
too,
little,
but the problem is you keep like then you touch everything with your gloves. I feel like you have to be trained like a medical professional to use gloves. Right?
Yeah.
You're like touching stuff, and then you're touching the wrong stuff with your
you
glove.
gotta pull it forward and then reach back this side here, and yeah.
And if you ever notice when you're in the hospital and they use gloves, they're in the room with you, and then they touch what they have to touch, and then everything in that room stays in that room, or they put it in that bio bin or whatever, and then they pull off their gloves, throw it away, and use hand sanitizer, and they start all over again. We're using our same tools, we're using the truck, everything else. It's very difficult to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I keep a little jug of.
Residential Basic says I was creating possibly some echo with my floor monitors. Did you guys notice any echo or anything?
Little
Yeah,
bit.
I just asked in the private chat here if you guys.
Is
can
it
hear
gone now?
Yeah.
I heard a little.
I just
bit.
had to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's better. Well,
Better.
it's still
Yeah, go a little lower. How's that?
Yeah, it's like we're all in a cave.
Oh, I didn't know it. I'm sorry. I can switch to.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't even notice it. I couldn't hear it. My bad. Let's see here, we go.
Trying to figure out what books you got behind you there, Rick.
What's that?
Trying to figure out what books you got on that shelf behind you.
I see you
How to
don't.
design and test complete speaker systems.
Nope. Pass.
Can holding a fart in kill you?
Yeah, that's a good Google search.
Here's a really good one. 101 ways to suck as an HVAC technician.
I've heard of that book. Do you have the 100 Chuck Norris jokes?
No.
Oh,
YouTube secrets.
Did the YouTube secrets work for you?
That's
I read
why.
through some of it. When I started reading it the first time, that was when I kind of got to where I had to quit. So
Did Steve Lav write that
finish
book?
it. Huh?
Did Steve Lav write that book?
Yeah. I don't think so. And then the rest of those are mainly DJ stuff. So my biggest problem is generally I don't read books. And so like right now, my biggest thing is reading that Dick Weir's refrigeration for AC technicians. And I am literally trying to read every page.
Yeah, buddy.
Because I didn't read my books at all when I went to school for this stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what I find out, or what I find is that that Dick Weir's book is just so easy to read for, I don't know, I speak in stereotypes for guys like me.
That's the book I had in school.
Yeah, I've seen that book across my eBay feed.
Yeah.
I got one of the more modern versions of that, and I read that book. That book is a hard read because it's all engineering speak for the most part.
Yeah, and then there's the older version of the same book.
It's from 1972.
And probably. And then there's probably the one before that.
Wow.
I didn't read any of them. So
You could sell those on eBay and make yourself a couple $100.
you think?
Yeah.
I mean, and as far as our heating book, there was this one here, Warm Air Climate for Temperature Control.
No,
So
never heard of that
yeah,
book.
I didn't read any of them.
So there's a couple books I just stumbled across on Amazon. One is about Cascade and supermarket refrigeration systems. And then another one was industrial refrigeration. But the industrial refrigeration book, all the reviews said it was more of an engineering sort of book. You got to have an engineering mindset to read that book.
The only books I've ever read are Dan, I don't know how to say his last name, Houlihan. Boiler books by him, several boiler books by him. They're awesome. Learned a lot from them. And then didn't read it front to back, but I still use it till this day when I forget something. But the air conditioning well, the air conditioners cutters ready reference is what it's called, and that's an awesome sheet metal book.
Yeah, Daniel, I don't do it anymore. I did it from 91 till 2011.
I just figured
You
out how
wanted
to
to
do
know
it.
if I used to DJ. I did everything from clubs, weddings, birthdays, you name it. So I still run sound for live performances, but that's about it. Yeah.
Now you got to be you're doing it for your church. You could be doing live streaming for your church.
We do it. I just didn't think anybody'd be interested in it. So
Oh yeah, it's the way of the future, man.
it is. I mean, we've been doing it. We're on TV already. We're not real big. We're just local, but we do it on Facebook. And what's nice is we need to update our video system because a lot of it's 20 years old and still 480. And you know, originally it was going to be like 240 grand, but now they can get it down to about 70. Still, that's a lot of money. So to get the older folks that usually are your money donators, I think they're now probably seeing how valuable it is because they can't come. So same thing with the online giving and stuff like that. So I usually do front of house and monitors, and then we have another 48 channel mixer we use for the live stream and production. So right now, even though I've got to be there tomorrow, my mix really don't matter a whole lot. It's more for monitors and stuff. But that's how I got my start. I was 14. I was always goofing off and not paying attention and creating problems. And so they threw me behind the mixer, and it gave me a reason to want to go. So subliminally, I learned more that way.
Is it one of the Scientology churches?
No, started off in a Baptist church, and then a non-denominational Christian church, and then it's a Baptist church again. But I've went to a little of everything. My wife was a Lutheran, so
Yeah, see, the church I follow is out of Branson, Missouri. They're a non-denominational church, Christian non-denominational church. It's and obviously I don't live in Branson, Missouri, so I follow them through their podcasts, through their live streams. It's great having this sort of technology, man.
So
yeah. Well, we're breaking all the rules. We just talked about government, and now we're talking about religion.
Let's talk about religion.
You
Let's talk about
guys
money.
come on here just to ruin me. Yeah, that's how
Talk
it
about
is.
money now.
I know you're not from the South, but I've heard there's a stereotype for Baptist churches that they
They're
get.
Southern Baptists, though.
Oh, so yours is different. I've heard they get all angry and they yell, and it's like a whole ordeal at Baptist churches. No.
No, because I mean, even our pastor, he likes to run with. We want to be known as a church of what we're for more than what we're against. So hate the sin, love the sinner, type thing. The thing I work with, as far as the live sound stuff, is something called Revive Ohio. And the guy that started that is actually from Texas. So there's a Revive Indiana, there's a Revive Texas. And honestly, they focus on birth, death, and resurrection. So more than whether or not you're Baptist, Lutheran, whatever, Catholic. I call it what flavor you are. All the different technicalities between them divide us, and it's not what's important. The church should be outside the walls, not inside of it. So when you actually go out and talk to the people, the biggest problem is these people that want to live one way and then try to be another. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I say things I shouldn't say. So, that's why I try not to bring it up a whole lot. I try not to cuss in my videos. I have a mouth on me. And, I try to, that way, depending on who watches my videos, I'm not, that video is out there forever. You're never going to be able to take it back. So, I try to watch what I'm saying for that very reason.
Swearing at an air conditioner.
That's why you got to be very careful about diagnosing your contactors wrong on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Change them all.
Mm-hmm.
Let God sort them out.
Change them all.
Yep. I was really surprised. I was talking to another big famous YouTuber, and when he told me he was a believer, I'm like, wow, cool, man. That's awesome to hear it. And he's like, you'd be surprised how many are. And I'm like, that'd be neat to know. That's cool. So, I mean,
yeah, like in my YouTube path, besides like live stream stuff like this, like my video content anyway, I mostly keep that, strict tutorial stuff. So if you're somebody who strictly just watches my videos, like you'd never know. Just like, the guy you're talking about, you probably just never know because he's not like, praise Jesus, I fixed air conditioner. John 3:16 something, it's
Well, we do work for a company that actually has John 3:16 on the back of their shirts, but then I walk around the place and he has some of the most derogatory things. If you can lean, you can clean. Don't leave your phone in your car, and just everything was like so derogatory and so demeaning. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't believe in using scripture to try to further your cause to get your business ahead, but then you're going to sit there and be an asshole. So I don't like that. So it's that don't fly real well with me. So yeah. That's why I try not to say a whole lot about it. I mean, you should be judged by your personality more than what you say.
That's true.
But I'm just a sinner like everyone else, and I make plenty of mistakes, and I've screwed up plenty, and I've done a lot wrong, and I just try to do what I can and do it right. Thank God we're forgiven, not perfect. So
everyone's equal unless you have the coronavirus.
None of us deserve it.
Yeah, if you have the coronavirus, we're going to shun you right out of town.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I always joke with people if they was going to come to our church, we're going to leave the snakes in the basket this week, but
get these snakes off my motherfucking plane.
Yeah, it's kind of like get off the convention, the religious carnivore. There we go. But yeah, it is what it is. But crash and burn.
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes when you talk politics and religion. Somebody's not going to like it, but
yeah, I'm not pushing on no one. It's a free will decision. All I got to do is tell you about it. And if you take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. It's not my, whatever. I'm not going to shove it down your throat. So whatever.
You can just offer the Kool-Aid and hope they drink it before the FBI burns the building down.
Josiah, you guys can join the choir. There we go. We got you playing the bass guitar. ZZ Top. What do you play, man?
Well, I used to be a pretty good guitar player.
So you can do lead?
I'd have to do a couple months of refurbishing.
It comes back quick. You get muscle memory. You have muscle memory, when I stopped playing for years, and then we tried to get the band back together, and we practiced for a couple months, and it came back.
See, I'll go back. I'll pick up my acoustic every once in a while, and I'll play a little bit. And some of the stuff comes back pretty easily. Some of the harder stuff, because I used to be really into like neoclassical music, like Yngwie Malmsteen, stuff like that. It's just crazy.
Joe Satriani.
Yeah, a little bit of Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, but that's like it's just crazy finger patterns. That stuff didn't come back so easily, but it's still there. I could feel it. But the worst part was, man, I forget every time I pick it up and play for a good half hour or whatever. The next day, my fingers are just killing me.
Oh
like, man,
you remember back in the day when you played so often that your fingers didn't hurt whatsoever?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother you? Yeah, my son was playing bass. His lessons are obviously over now for the year or maybe more, but he asked me, he was like, why did my fingers hurt so bad? I'm like, it just means you need to play more. He's like, that means it hurt more. I'm like, yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. But you get used to it, and your calluses build up.
Yeah, once you get calluses, you're good to go. No problem.
Shoot, I used to keep a journal of all my practicing, and I used to play back when I really wanted to be a rock star, 7-8 hours a day.
We would practice with the band I was in. One of the bands I was in, we would practice on average 3 times a week together collectively as a band, 5 hours of practice.
Damn.
And then we were practicing so often. I remember we were practicing in a basement that we were trying to make it more like, what else can we practice? So this is like we were just out of high school. I was probably 21 years old. But we're like, all right, we're going to have full practices with the lights off. So we started practicing with the lights off. And then after that, we're like, all right, full practice with the lights off and your pants off.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you're practicing in your freaking skivs,
That's weird.
Yeah, I've pretty much, I played in high school, in trumpet, in band, but I was never really. I
played trumpet too.
Really?
Yeah.
We were a pretty decent swing band, meaning, we did the fun stuff. We weren't that boring music, but we went to, several football games and did halftime shows and stuff like that. It was fun. It was either being football or that. I mean, my school was I had 80 some people in my class. So, I mean, we didn't have many.
Yeah, see, I was a football guy.
Glenn
Yeah.
Murray.
You
So,
either a jock or a band fag, but at least, you know, with the way our school was, if you were in one or the other, but our band was cool enough to the point where, you know, you didn't get made fun of it because it was pretty cool music. I mean, we're doing, you know, Bobber Ranch, you know, Sloopy, all the fun stuff. That Phantom Opera crap, we used to make fun of those people, but you know, we did fun music that got you actually excited, you know, for the halftime show type stuff. But
You're actually not supposed to, now that we're in the year 2020, use the term band fag anymore. Rick.
oh, dang it. You know, I'm getting old. What can I say?
I think it's, what do they say now? Marching band twinkle.
Yeah.
It's the politically correct way to say it.
Everything.
Maybe I'm finally getting old. I'm kind of noticing it on everything else. So,
I don't think
you
you're
know,
supposed to say garbage man either. The garbage men are not garbage men anymore.
a waste disposal person.
Waste technician or something like that.
Yeah, it's some sort of technician of some sort. Everybody's a technician anymore.
Yeah. People don't like the word secretaries. It's funny. I think
Yeah.
it's hilarious. It's like if you're offended by what your job is called, get a new job. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a question out there. I'm not sure how it was supposed to go, but it was something about having a dad bod and being a, where is it? It was Sterling here. Do you guys think it's possible to be a good HVAC tech and not have a dad bod? I can't get rid of my belly. Well, I was 255 pounds, and I'm down to this morning, I was 170 and a half. So
What is your secret? I need to get on your
a lot of money. Basically, the program is Optavia. Basically, you eat 5 of their servings and 1 lean and green. And, you know, when you're eating their food, basically you're keeping your sugar levels down so you're not having the spikes. And it comes with a pretty thick book. It's made, it was originally, Medifast was the original program. But, you know, you're looking at about $400 a month if you're going to be full bore on it. Plus, your lean and greens are going to cost you probably $300. But, you know, my cholesterol was high. You know, my knees were hurting. I was getting tired and winded running up and down ladders. And, you know, it's just me and the wife now. The kids are all, you know, gone. So, I mean, I've got the money to eat right. So it's like, well, how much is your health going to cost you if you end up having a heart attack or something? So that was what I was kind of worried about, was my family's health on both sides basically suck. And so between cancer, heart attacks, and everything else, it was like, I better do something or I'm going to end up killing over dead. So
I should probably do that.
What was the cost of that again, Rick?
It's called Optavia. Basically, I mean, you learn how to eat correct for life, because otherwise, if you just lose it, if I was to start eating, you know, everything I want, and I love to overeat. That was my biggest problem. I love to eat. And I ate until I was full. And when you're sitting there eating some of these little bars and stuff, and they have all kinds of different stuff. They have bars, they have soups, all that crap. For me, the bars work out easy because I can take 5 of them to work and I can eat them in like, you know, a minute or something, one of them. And you look at it and you're like, I'm going to starve to death. But you're eating every 2 to 3 hours. And, but it's Optavia, Optiva. And basically you get a coach, which, you know, my first coach was just kind of and I watched all the different videos, and he was, my coach guy was 400 and some odd pounds. And when I got talking to him, he came down to 250. And I'm like, holy crap, you know? And for the most part, it's fairly easy. You know, I like eating steak and, you know, things like that for my meats. If you're going to have turkey, they want you to go like 80 to 90% lean. It's a base of a little everything, proper fat, you name it.
Are you like completely, like, you know, if your family, you have a family get together at a restaurant, do you still try to eat the same way? Or are you like, hey, we're going to a pizza place, I'm having pizza tonight? You
have the pizza and you're going to come out of fat burn. And so then you're going to be all hungry again and everything else. So, I mean, for me, when I'm spending that kind of money, I wasn't going to cheat, and I didn't. Now, right now, I went back on the program probably 2 months, 3 months ago, because I got back up to about 192. But I was eating popcorn, I was eating peanuts and things like that, thinking, well, I'll just eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And, you know, I love ice cream, so I'm working on these ice cream machines, you know, and things like that. So it's like, So if you go back to it, you will start gaining some of it back. But I mean, I went on the program almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. So even when I was goofing around and not doing everything I should, I was eating like 3 of their servings instead of the 5 because I kind of went into what they call maintenance. But I didn't do the transition off of it. And they're claiming that if I would have done the transition, I wouldn't have probably gained as much. So you slowly introduce your dairies back. You slowly introduce your cheeses, things like that. Because like right now, I'm basically keeping a lot of that stuff at bay. But like tonight, we had pizza and wings. Wings, technically, hot sauce has no carbs hardly at all in it or any sugars. I found salad dressings that are no carb, no calorie. They're made by Walden's. I mean, there's a lot behind it, and it's too much to cover in like just a little setting. But it's one of the fastest result programs out there. Far as long term,
how long did it take you?
Huh?
How long did it take you to actually lose the amount of weight?
That's why I lost so much. People started asking the wife, and that's why she kind of said, "Hey, I want you to quit the program because I was losing so much so fast." I mean, the first day I was on it, I lost like 3 pounds, 4 pounds, but
Sign up right now.
I went from I kept track of it. I started losing about 2 to 3 pounds a day. And then, nobody notices anything until you hit 25, 30 pounds.
What is the website called?
Oh, dude, it's one of the fastest results. I've lost 20. I went from 192 to 170, so that's 22 pounds. I lost that in 2 months. And that's with me still cheating and stuff that I shouldn't be doing because I'm not taking it real serious. Optavia, here, I'll type it in here.
I'm going to tell him HVAC. I'm going to tell him HVACR Survival sent me.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't cheap.
Discount code by any chance?
My coach's name. I mean, you could. I don't get nothing for it. If you can, they want you to kind of become a coach, which you got to pay to do that, and then you can get percentages off of everybody's stuff. But you're looking at about. You can go with the Medifast program, which their stuff's a little cheaper than the Optavia, so they got different things. But your seven fuelings, as they call it, will cost you anywhere from $20 to $22 for a box of them, and you're going to need about 22 to 23 of them. And when I dropped down to my maintenance stuff, I just basically went with 3 of them. So I'll eat their pancake in the morning, which is not very much. Then at about 10 o'clock, I'll eat another one, and then another one at 12:30, one at 3, one at like 5:30. I'll eat my lean and green, which I'm having fish, or I'll have turkey meat instead of hamburger meat. I'll have steak. I'll have pork loin.
You have to buy all that food and cook it, right?
The lean and green stuff you're going to buy locally. So I mean that adds up. I mean it's expensive to eat right.
Mm-hmm.
The program. I don't see the program you're talking about. They have a 5-in-1, a 4-2-1.
5-in-1 is what you're on usually when you want to learn lose the weight. And then when you get to the maintenance, you're going to drop down to like the 3 and whatever. It depends on how overweight you are. I mean, I didn't think I was that bad. And yet, I was still like 30 some odd % body fat. And right now, according to my weight scale, I'm 21. 25 is about the max before you become overweight. Because you go from fit and then overweight, then obese, and then whatever. And, they got a program in there for diabetics. There's a little bit of everything. For me, I like the bars better, and they honestly they taste good. I can't complain. I got my favorites. I got ones I don't like. I can always go over that stuff you guys some other time.
I wonder what the secret is to all this. Is it calorie
portion
reduction?
Control is a big thing of it. The other one, I mean, it comes with a book. The book is like this thick, and I've read only about a quarter of it because I hate to read.
I can't read diet books.
Yeah. But if you want to learn the science behind it, Dr. Anderson is the guy that designed it. And what he's got makes sense. I mean, you want to keep your glucose levels and all that stuff low because to get into the fat burn, you're going to go lower carbs, but not as low as Atkins. So you're going to be maybe 80 carbs a day. And that's how you go into this fat burn and you start losing so much so quickly because and then the bars also have built into them all your vitamins, your minerals, all the stuff, the protein's high, everything's portion controlled. Every one of them's 100 to 110 calories a piece. And it just makes it so simple. It's brain dead. And, I didn't have to think about
something
nothing.
Where it's just like you eat this and this happens.
Yeah.
That's what I want to.
Because
it's simple. It's brain dead. That's what I liked about it.
I'm going to buy 2 of these, one for myself and one for my wife.
Because I'm real curious about fitness, and I've tried I don't know, tons and tons of different programs from keto to intermittent fasting to sicko, calories in, calories out. And, they all have sort of their best results. I lost 105 pounds on just calorie reduction. I went down to 1,500 calories a day for about 8 months and, dropped 105 pounds.
You said you've kept it down quite a bit, haven't you?
I've kept it down. I've gained about 20, 30 pounds since then that I'd like to, take back off because the knees are starting to hurt, back's starting to hurt. Oh my God, who's that Samoan guy?
That's me.
Is that Kim Jong-un?
That's me.
I can't.
Now,
I
granted,
can't tell.
I just picked out.
Are you wearing a hat or is that your hair?
Huh?
Are you wearing a hat or is that your fluffy hair?
That's a hat.
Oh, I thought it was.
I was born with a hat on my head.
That was a North Korean hairstyle.
Yeah, you're like the Rock's fat brother.
Dude, I had a 38 waist and it was starting to get tight.
Good Lord, you are so fat in that picture.
I was letting it stick out there, man. 254 pounds. They can't see it, but yeah, you can't see it. But it was 254.
I bet you couldn't see it either.
How long ago was that?
What's that?
When was that picture taken?
That was when I first started it. I'll tell you how I ended up getting about this. Basically, that was July 30th, 2018 at 7:15 p.m. That was my first day.
Jeez.
What I did is we do work at a nursing home, and the guy here on the left-hand side was 325 pounds. He was a maintenance guy at a nursing home, and they have a high turnover rate. And I said, hey, I didn't recognize the guy. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, you must be a new guy. And he goes, no, I've been here for whatever amount of duration. And I said, what? He goes, oh, yeah, I lost all this weight. He told me about it. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm like jealous. I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell? And, the guy, I'm not gay, but he looked good. I'm thinking, I want to look good too. So I'm like, what's this program? And some of the things I was eating, this is my lean and green. That's mushrooms, steak, asparagus, and what's that freaking green thing?
That's like a good meal.
Man,
it is. I mean, you know, and then as things, as I got closer to things, I found a pizza basically that is cauliflower crust. It was one of the lowest ones out there as far as stuff. It was this one here, this one here.
Yeah, see, I need to get one of those. I don't know the name of the program, but they just freeze dry it or whatever, and they send it to you because I ain't got time to cook.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing to have is an air fryer. Yeah, there's one of my other meals I had.
I'll never have time to do that.
Air fryer is awesome. You can cook your steak, your vegetables, all that in there. And I found a seasoning for my vegetables because I would have never in a million years ate any of this vegetable crap. I hate vegetables. I'm eating broccoli, peppers. All kinds of crap I never used to eat. And, we found this seasoning, and I think it's I don't know if it's either a steak seasoning or a chicken seasoning. I sprinkle it on everything. I call it magic dust or whatever. But, the program lays it out, and, I got...
Which one did you go with? There's an essential optimal, essential on the go, or select favorites kit.
I don't like the select. I think those suck. I went with the, let's see here. Let me pull it up.
So for the price that you pay for that, I just realized it's weird. We're three HVAC guys talking about our figures and our diet. And
I was just wondering, do you think people are going to like me if I'm skinny?
Yeah. I was just wondering.
That's what's funny is most people didn't have a clue that, I was heavier, and, it's like, whatever.
Does this Vito bag make my ankles look fat?
Well, yeah, my wife said I was getting too thin. She don't like skinny guys, so go figure, There's a lot of videos out there,
my wife says that too, but I say something rude back to her.
Wife swap.
I say,
oh yeah, gosh, man, oh man, product programs. Let's see, 5-in-1, optimal weight.
So
I've been on it for so long, I kind of forgot
what you're paying for. Do they just tell you what to eat? Then they don't actually give you anything.
No, you've got a book. Well, I started off with the essential optimal kit there, 5-in-1, I think.
It looks like there's a bunch of boxes of food they send you and snacks.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't like the cereals. I don't like, the shakes are good, but to me, they don't fill me up. I got a very set of things I like. I like the the peanut butter bars. I love the s'mores bars, the chocolate chip cookie thing there, the caramel bar. I get 3 or 4 of one type. I mean, I got on the chocolate kick for a while, and then now I don't like it. And I love the strawberry one, then I didn't like it. So I move around. I mean, they got a crap load of stuff to pick from. But the biggest thing is you got to get, into the book and learn what you're going to do. And you got to make the commitment to change your eating habits, because if you're just going to eat the other crap, you're just going to get fat again, and you just wasted your money.
So you don't just like add this and buy it. You need to like sign up and create an account and do all kinds of stuff to get involved with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically you could set it up like that, but it's nice if you can have get set up with your coach or whatever, because he's going to help you answer a lot of your questions. Like for me, I was very skeptical and didn't believe it, and I didn't want ripped off. I'm very tight with my money. So, I asked every question under the sun, and it was like that initial investment, putting down that money. It's like, do I trust this guy?
Just over like what is that? A year and a half ish. I'll give or take a little bit. So what is that? 7 times?
Oh, I've got probably $8,000, $9,000 into it, but you got to eat no matter what. Basically, figure it is about $15 a day. So you eat out, you're going to spend $7. So the way I looked at it, for $7 more a day, I could do it. Well, I didn't think about the cost of the lean and green, but I'm going to eat good anyway. I mean, what's wrong with having steak and good food like that?
You know what I've been doing recently? We've been ordering. We tried both of them, the HelloFresh and that Blue Apron thing. But I don't think it's that. I mean, maybe it's partially healthy. I don't think it's that great. And I generally don't really eat breakfast or lunch for the most part. And
see, that actually will put your body into a recession. And because, New Wave is what I use for my air fryer. Basically, what's interesting about the program, the reason why they're wanting to eat more often is so that your body metabolism stays constant. They compare your body to a 10,000-year-old caveman. Back in the day when we were cavemen, we would search for food, and then we may not eat for a while because we couldn't find food. So your body will naturally, the more when you don't eat, will store that food into fat. And then to get into fat burn, generally when you eat high carb meals and stuff, your body burns that fat before it burns the fat that's stored in your body. So it's quite interesting the way it works. I mean, I actually had somebody send me a text once that kind of told me how the fat burn worked. I think I've got it here. Let's see here. Since we're all in on this thing here.
Interesting.
I got it right here. And it kind of answers a lot of the things. You guys want to hear it? We can do it real quick. It's kind of long.
And vegetables. Yeah.
Okay. We get a lot of questions about fat burn, the fat burning state. One of the main features of the 5-in-1 plan that we use in Optavia ketosis refers to the metabolic state where your body is burning fat instead of the preferred fuel of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates exist in 2 forms. When you're eating normal free or accessible carbs and stored carbs called glycogen, when your body needs fuel, it will burn the free carbs first, like when you drink a glass of OJ full of carbs. When all the free carbs are gone, your body will burn the stored carbs, glycogen. In humans, glycogen is made and stored primarily in the cells of the liver and in the muscles and contains carbs and water stored together. Once the glycogen stored water is gone, your body turns to fat. In this first week of the program, you'll lose a lot of weight. Most of it will be a result of using up the glycogen because of every gram of stored carb. Also, for every gram of stored carbs also stores 3 grams of water. This is why you get so fat when you eat some of that stuff real fast. It'll store the water weight, but it usually works its way back off. If the glycogen is used, the water is released. Result, large weight loss. This is also why if you have a high carb meal at some point, your weight goes up, up, up. Every extra gram of carb will be stored with an extra 3 grams of water. This is why if you eat 1 pound of chocolate, your weight goes up 4 pounds at least. So 1 pound equals 3 pounds of water. On a side note, when your body burns fat as fuel, ketones bodies are produced and they're released in your urine, sweat, and saliva, hence the bad breath, BO, and some other people. Boring. So wife is saying boring, so blah, blah, blah.
So
we've got 43 people that haven't logged off yet, so obviously they must not be too uninterested.
I'm a whiskey connoisseur. Am I going to have to quit drinking for this?
I don't know how whiskey is, but I know, cut to the fluff notes, my wife is being a pain in the butt. Basically, I know beer will definitely add some to you and stuff. Also, note also alcohol is metabolized as fat. So if you have a glass of wine, you'll stay in ketosis, but your body will use the wine as fuel first instead of your body. Result, slow weight loss. Ultimately, choice is yours. How fast do you want to lose? So, I mean, there was more to it there. You know, when we get done and stuff, you guys want to send me your cell phone numbers, I can send you this stuff. And that way you can see some of the text message. It'd make it easier for me to get a hold of you guys too. But
All right.
because right now I'm playing the email phone tag thing, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I can send that to you. It's a lot to cover in a short duration of time. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really depends on how bad do you want it. I mean, for me, it was kind of like I wanted to look better. I wanted to be more healthy. And, you know, my cholesterol, because he was getting ready to want to put me on cholesterol meds. I didn't want to deal with that, you know.
How's your energy?
Energy is a lot better. You know, we don't go out and do a whole lot. So, I mean, you know, obviously here I am on a Saturday night online. So, but yeah, it went up quite a bit. I know some people have more. Like I was actually running for the first time, but what I noticed, because I'll be 45 here in May 21st. So, I mean, my body's a little older, which I don't like to admit it, but it's starting to. You know, running is really hard on your body. But I've never in my life been able to run. I've never been able to hardly go across the monkey bars and stuff like that. I can do it no problem. I can do 50-some push-ups in a row, no problem at all. I mean, it's just, I'm in better shape now than I've ever been. Even in high school, I was 215 pounds. So, you know, knees feel better, all kinds of stuff. It makes a big difference.
After I got married, when I gained weight.
And I did too.
That's what happened. You know?
Yep. You slow down, and then with what we do in general, I mean, that was why it's kind of interesting to see when Curious did his pack a good lunch thing and stuff like that. I mean, that was kind of interesting to hear it. And, you know, this program makes it really simple. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer. It doesn't require a lot of effort on your part. If you can just follow what they say to do it.
It requires a lot of money.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it just, you know, the money we waste on other stuff, it's like.
That's true.
We waste a lot of money. I mean, you going out to eat. I mean, I don't know how many kids you got, but you know, if you go to half-ass decent place to eat, I mean, you're going to spend $50 to $75.
I've been completely watching like looking at wants versus needs. You know what I mean? That's like a big thing because I what I've noticed is the wants that you have a lot of times, if you look at the wants that you've had in the past, it ends up like just like garbage laying around that you're like, why did I buy this crap? And you throw it out or donate it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a quick. I think it's like something in your head. It's a quick high. You know what I mean? To buy something that you want.
Right now, I've been Milwaukee tools. I just got on the 18-volt kick, so I bought the sweeper.
I love the Milwaukee tools and the pack outs and all that. Yeah.
I ain't bought in on the pack out. I bought the generic version of it from Milwaukee, the one that looks like a pack out. Them are only $25. I bought 6 of them and put them in my van.
I love the pack outs. The only thing I don't like about it, I wish they put a frame on the pack out because like you have to take when I'm in the back of my truck. I mean, I think I have like 8 or 9 of them stacked up. If you want something in the middle or the bottom, you're taking all of them off the top. You know what I mean? You can't just slide one thing out. And
I got some L channel stuff from work. It's like if I could drive cleat or whatever for commercial duct work. I mean, it's heavy gauges. I'll get out. I'm going to weld that up. My wife's getting some surgery done on Friday, so I literally can't go to work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because of all this COVID crap. So I've got to set home, and I'm going to build me a frame for it, just like what Chris has got in his truck where he slides them in there. But I'm going to do 2 across, and I'm going to mount it in there like that. Right now they're just setting in there, but when I want to pull something out, like I made one for PVC fittings, one for copper, one for electrical, one for a couple other different things. And so I got 6 of them. The 2 of them aren't hardly even got anything in it. And I'm going to build a frame for that. And I'm hoping that that'll give me the room I need to pull the stuff out.
Hey, Rick, I want to, while we're on HVAC again, after this half hour, pick your brain a little bit. I was talking about this yesterday, my little science experiment at my house.
Where you wanted to split it up and put a little bit into one evaporator versus the other?
I want to see it's a 2-stage system. What do you think? What's the outcome on it when I get it running?
I wonder if you're going to have enough ass behind the compressor to feed both of them. But you said you wanted to feed one at a time. You were okay with that?
Well, at first, what I wanted to do is try it out with, first stage will feed one or the other, or it will feed, first or second stage in the house. And then I wanted to also try doing both, but if both is on, second stage has to be on.
So it's a 2-stage air conditioner?
Yeah.
How many ton is it?
3.
So what kind is it?
Train 18i.
Does it drop down to like 70%? Is it an unloader on the?
Yep.
Okay. So basically, I think what I've seen it done with regular air conditioning before. When basically we did it at a church once, we kind of moved a regular condenser outside. And we did 2 like a mini split or whatever I think is what we had. God, it was so long ago. But basically, we just bullheaded the thing in and fed it to both of them. You might need to add a receiver, possibly. I'm not sure. And you may need an accumulator, possibly. I guess you're just gonna have to run it and see how it responds. Because I think what you're gonna have is you're gonna basically boil all that liquid off, and it's gonna come back probably low suction or something like that when you're running through basically 6 tons of evaporator versus just the 3.
Right.
That's what I'm wondering, because I mean, ice cream machines, some of them will do it with 1 compressor. You see it more with refrigeration than anything. They'll run multiple evaporators off 1 unit. But generally, when you're doing it with refrigeration, you're using both evaporators at the same time, and it's sized for it together. But
right.
It just kind of depends. And then that receiver gives you that room to put the excess there. Otherwise, you're going to have your head pressure jumping up.
The garage is on the longer spectrum of line set length too. That's the other issue.
May have to upsize your liquid line.
We will see. We'll see. I'm gonna get it running. It's still cold here, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we got the same weather as you. It sucks. Cold. I think it's.
I'll keep tinkering around with it until it works, though. Add a receiver, do what I need to do. We'll see.
Do both of them have a TXV?
Yes.
So I think you'll be all right. I mean, supposedly, all the talk of that is it's supposed to protect, give you a constant superheat. So, I mean, that's going to help keep your compressor from getting hammered. So between that and the receiver, I mean.
I fell down a nutrition hole. That's why I'm not talking.
Nutrition hole?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still back on the Optavia thing?
Oh, no. That led to like 1,000 other things that made me curious. So.
My wife was, because I ordered the Blue Apron and HelloFresh for both me and her. And she's like it started off when we first got married that she wanted to go to Whole Foods just for milk. Okay. She wants good quality organic milk. And then it was milk and meat. And then it was, it kept on adding on. And then before I knew it, it was like, hey, we're buying everything at Whole Foods. That's what we do, So I ordered these mail order kits, and she says she's not comfortable eating the meat. So she doesn't eat it. Like, she gives it to one of the kids. So she wants to do something she says, like, more portion control than that, which I think this might be. I'll have her research it before I order it, though.
Yeah, because I mean, on some of that stuff, I thought it was because of they were like giving you exactly the ingredients that you needed, so you weren't buying a bunch of crap that you didn't, and you're saving money that way.
Well, I don't think you really save money, but it's just convenient that you have everything right there, that you just throw the ingredients together. And
yeah, see, I need something like that.
It's HelloFresh or Blue Apron, man. But
I've heard of the Blue Apron thing on XM radio because that's what I listen to all day.
But I don't think it's necessarily you're going to lose weight off of it. I don't think it was based off that. No, it's just convenience and decent meals. Home.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one way to lose weight, and that's to cut your calories. Because I mean, I did the exercise thing, and I was still doing it until they shut everything down. And I lowered my cholesterol a little bit, but I was doing 30 minutes on the treadmill. I was doing lifting, crunches, all that crap for about an hour and a half with another guy. And he kept pushing me because, I mean, I wouldn't have probably kept up with it if it wasn't for him constantly saying, hey, 6 o'clock, let's meet, and it's like, I didn't want to, but I went ahead and did it. And, thankfully he kept me in it. So it was like, then when I started the program, I started losing it. Then they actually don't want you to exercise while you're on the program because your calories are so low. They don't want you like stroking out. But, if you're already on the program, it's not bad as far as the exercise program, but yeah, it's just mainly cutting the calories and then just
lose weight and no exercise.
That's like the
correct. No exercise.
Oh my God, man.
The thing is,
I'm serious, dude. It's the ultimate plan. You don't have to do crap. I mean,
I work on a lot of like really high end houses where it's like 3 floors that are massive and everything, And I'm like going up and down the stairs. And
You sound like you're lying to him when you
I'm
talk
like,
to him.
I couldn't live here if I wanted to. I'm just too fat to live in this house.
I was like,
elevator.
figuring, when you go up to him, you're like, you need a new control board, and the transformers wore out too. And you're like, man, what is he lying about this stuff? What's going on?
Why is he sweating so much?
Just pack your lunches. Yeah, I've tried that too. And a lot of it was basically I when I went back off the program partially, I should have kept eating the nice chicken breast and stuff like that. Instead, I was kind of eating the lunch meat stuff, which is high in salt and sodium. So I'm no dietitian or anything like that, and I don't 100% fully understand the program. I just know when I'm on it, it works. And then
I got to tell you, that picture you put on the screen, without you saying that was you, I would have never guessed in a million years that was you. You're
honestly,
unrecognizable.
My first video that I did was of a blender repair I did, and you could see my stomach, and it was me looking at myself online that kind of bothered me. And because I've learned a lot of things that I do weird while I'm being recorded. Like I watched my eyes and they were blinking. My eyes are like dry as hell right now, and so it's like they're doing all kinds of weird stuff, and I play it back and watch what I'm doing. And
that's why you gotta wear sunglasses.
That's the whole reason why Chris quit doing coke.
Mm-hmm.
Just joking. He doesn't do coke.
Coke and blow. But yeah, it's that was what it was. And I thought about posting some of those videos, but the problem is that some of them I have to go through and cut my uniform and stuff out. I mean, I use the zoom tool a lot on them because my hat's got our freaking abbreviations on it, and then that's why I get lucky with my jacket on it hides it. I mean, they were just worried that that maybe some customer would get upset or something like that or whatever. And now that I get the permission, it's not such a big deal. But I still keep it on the DL. And
yeah, see, I try to keep all my company information out of my videos, but it gets in there once in a while. And I'm like, whatever. I don't make a point.
If they haven't fired you yet
but
or jumped on you, why worry about it? I mean, that's where Vlogger gets away with it, man. It's like, man, he's got the whole van on there. I'm like, damn, must be nice.
I had a viewer, from I forget where he was from, but he called our office, our home office. He's like, hey, do you guys have a guy named Curious that works there? And luckily, the person he called, they knew that I was making YouTube videos at the time. Like, yeah, I know him. And they just wanted to call him saying, yeah, I like his videos. And that's it. That's like, well, you could have just left a comment, you weirdo. I mean, no offense if you're watching, but
I had somebody out of the Cleveland area wanted to know if we'd drive all the way up there, and that's like 3 hours away. And it's like
Bill would do that.
No,
I do that on the norm.
Yeah, that's too far for us. I mean, and
I like those long drives, man.
Huh?
I like those long drives. Gives me time to listen to all my podcasts.
Yeah, I've never done much of the podcast stuff, and that's what I've thought about doing, but I'm not sure what the heck I'd talk about. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
Podcasts are weird. We do a little podcast, and every time we do it, it's I don't know, it's different. It's
you got to really know what you're talking about and have a dedicated subject matter to go after.
Yeah, you really got to manage the dead air.
But I'm thinking all right, so we started off trying to talk about HVAC, and now the idea is to try to stay off the topic of HVAC. If it comes up, fine, but do real life. What are the things that you run into real life situations? You know what I mean? And I think the two segments that we did with Chris, dude, those were awesome. That was a great real conversation we had with him. I think those are more natural, having real conversations in a podcast than let's talk about dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I forget that other people are even watching us. So, and that makes people back in the day, I had a scanner. I could listen to cell phone conversations and stuff. And it was so cool to sit there and listen to these people. And they'd be like, it's starting to rain. You look outside and hell yeah, it's raining. Check that out, And you'd hear some crazy stuff before everything went digital and they changed all the channels and stuff. And I think people enjoy the eavesdropping because, I mean, right now, basically, we're being eavesdropped by 41 people right now. And, and they like it. I mean, it's, maybe we'll talk about something. Maybe we won't. I mean, you can't fascinate somebody all the time with something. I mean, it's just not the way it is. But we've all picked up something off of somebody.
I'm pretty fascinated by Joe that every picture he takes is a vertical. That's like every single
it's the worst,
damn
man.
one. Every
It's
damn
the worst.
Some people don't get it.
That guy needs to get a online coach to show him how to take horizontal pictures.
There's our little Joey right there, man.
Is he here? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I just Joey. There's the link, man. Click on it.
Oh, he
We'll have
won't
a
come
family
in.
reunion here.
He won't come in. He's chicken.
Come on, Joey, hop on.
He's got to go get his coffee, set up his computer.
It's like a 4-hour
It
process
is.
Friday night. So
I'm
Hell, just
surprised.
hop on your phone. Everybody else has. I mean, it's surprisingly worked out rather well.
We'll be able to see him because it'll be all vertical and
Nice.
showing the garage light or something.
That's a good song, Rick. What the hell? What's a good song?
I gotta turn off my notifications.
I was wondering where I was hearing. I'm like, I got my Bluetooth turned down on my thing, and I thought maybe it was my phone. And I was starting to get the text messages from the wife. This is boring. It's like, well, it's not like we're really doing a real production here or anything. But vlogger shows
All right,
everything.
well,
LOL.
since she said it's boring, I'm going to stop looking at nutritional stuff now.
Yeah, we need some good quality content. Oh, Joe's coming on. There we go.
No way.
Can you guys can't see? Can you guys see the bottom down below here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I only did this the one time, I think, with you guys or Zach or somebody. Forget
You're
who.
doing all these little effects with StreamYard.
Huh?
Like your overlays and stuff, it's all through StreamYard?
Yeah. Like the ticker thing there.
Yeah.
And then I've got my comments, which is where's my banners? Here's my banners.
Yeah, I like how you put the highlighted comments, however you decide to pick them out.
Yeah, you just click on them.
Put those up on the screen.
Yep, that works out awesome. And then the wife, she designed my little logo. If you look at it, not only is it a pressure gauge, but you got a resistance symbol in the bottom. You've got a capacitance symbol in between. Well, not on this one, but on my main one. Between on the HVAC R, there's a capacitance symbol separating the split there.
Oh, nice.
I saw there was a shirt I saw online. I was thinking about buying it, but I thought it was possibly a little bit too nerdy.
What's that?
It showed the resistance symbol and it just showed the symbol and it said is futile underneath it.
I like E over IR and P over IE, or the circle wheel there. I don't like it when they write it out. To me, it's too complicated. I like it where you just cover what you don't have.
Yeah.
And
See,
that's
I
what you
always
do. To me, that's the easiest way to do it.
I always forget that wheel. It's EIR and then PIE.
Yep.
So
That's
P
what we had in
above,
electronics.
PIE.
Yep. P is wattage, I is current, E is voltage, and without the one or the other. And like the P, when it's on top, you take the two below times each other, and the other two you invite into it.
I just looked it up, whenever I feel guilty about not memorizing something like that, I remember that Einstein didn't never remember the number for pi.
Really?
That's what he said. He said, what was his quote? Something like, I won't waste my brain power on something that can be easily referenced.
Yeah. A smart person once told me that you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find it.
That's what they told us at generator school. Because, I mean,
like
that
that.
right there, that's one thing it sucks. I mean, here we are. We normally fix stuff. We don't look at a book. But when I work on generators, I have to look at the book because they want you to go through a specific set of steps and check this, check that. And I hate that. As you can see, I can read. I just don't like to read. And my problem is it doesn't sink into my head when I read it. So I got to go back through and think about it. And it just doesn't go
sleepy.
in.
I get real sleepy if I start reading.
Yeah. I don't get the sleepy thing. Well, I do when I'm trying to read that other book. I mean, by the time it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then yeah, there I'm kind of like, but that book there, it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. I can't get enough of it so far. I got the digital version too.
What's weird is I read a lot online. I read a lot like on a tablet or a phone, but if you put a book in front of me, I get bored. Why is
Except Dick Worth's book. I can usually read at least a couple pages of that without getting too groggy.
Yeah. It just depends on what day. I'm kind of looking forward, as much as I didn't want to take work off. I'll probably read through that some. I'm going to organize my truck better. I'm trying to get some things around the house. I got to put some new bearings in my razor, as far as side by side, things like that. So I mean, there's things I want to get done that I haven't had a chance to do. I might get my motorcycle ready to go.
I'll have to admit, as much as as horrible as this COVID-19 thing is to the world, it's sort of shown me an appreciation for my downtime. Now that I have more of it, I'm like, man, I could get used to a sort of a 9-to-5 job and have time in the afternoon in the summertime to get stuff done.
It's different. And I don't think that's what the argument I always have with my wife all the time. There he is, the homeless man.
He looks like a homeless man.
He is. He really is.
Is it cold up there?
Yeah, it actually is.
Polar vortex his way.
Hey. Yeah, you're right. It was a polar vortex that came through. We had like snow flurries. Did you guys have it there? I don't know.
No, it's been
yesterday.
Pretty clear skies here.
We're gonna Joe and Bill. We're gonna start saying hello to Shannon every week.
Why is that?
Separate segment from Randy and Luke to Shannon. We're gonna make sure we say hello to Shannon. All right,
I'll give Shannon a shout out.
Very good.
I don't know.
Let me show these guys.
I don't remember seeing him in the chat though on our live streams very often.
I don't think he's in the chat, but he's obviously watching.
Well, if he's watching, we'll give him a shout out.
North disconnected there. Dirty rat bastard. There
he probably ran out of minutes.
Sorry.
He ran out of internet. They're rationing that.
It's so true.
It's not your fault, Rick.
It's his new calling card into it.
Hold on, I gotta go to the gas station.
I'll try to show you guys my collection here, but hold on.
It's not bad for a hard night's work.
Look at these.
You've been stealing those out of your neighbors' yards and everything?
Look at that coil, man. It's the size of my car.
That looks like some free tools. We recycle that crap, man. I put that money towards the place where I recycle my metal at. I get the tools at.
Right?
That looks like a crack addiction right there.
There's some big reheat coils, big evap coils, and yeah.
You get about $14 US money for that.
9,000 Canadian.
Yeah, wait till the price
Canadian
of gas
pesos.
goes back up.
Canadian pesos.
I was telling Joe and Bill last night that the only reason I was able to start my company is when my
that's a crazy story.
We were saving. We would always save scrap metal, but like for different lengths of time. And then my dad had he was subletting part of his unit out, and then he lost the renter, so we had this big free up space. So we stopped scrapping altogether. We just stored everything on the one side. And when he sold the company, I got to keep all the scrap, and it took me forever to cut it up. But I got it was almost 15 grand, I believe.
15 grand, dude! I couldn't believe when I heard that.
Yeah.
You know to cut the ends off that, right? And separate the metal from the copper.
That's why it's in the garage.
Okay. But save the little loops. I didn't think those added up.
Bud.
They do.
Oh, yeah. They add up nice and tight to the middle, and then you just knock them off with a hammer.
That's right.
Well,
I learned quick.
I could tell Rick's a scrapper. And you have to cut it close to the metal, or else the aluminum holds the pins in.
That's a pain in the hiney.
Copper.
Yeah. How much time you spend doing that, though?
There is hours involved, for sure, I have to admit.
Yeah, if you fill up a good amount of, you're storing it for a while, and then you do it, and you get a couple grand. You spend a day for a couple grand. I mean, it's
worth
it. Yeah,
I'm excited with a couple hundred.
Right? So
I had one time I had to back my pickup truck completely full of evaporators back when, they didn't seem to care. It was all residential stuff. It was easy
One
to cut
time,
up.
I went down to our shop and was cutting up old package units at the yard there and took all the evaporators in. I don't remember exactly what we got, but I was like, that's it. It was like $200, $300 or something.
You can't just take them in.
And I was like,
cut them up.
Oh yeah, I cut them all up. I mean, I didn't. I don't know to the extent that you guys are talking about to cut them up, but
well, a lot of guys do that, Bill. A lot of guys don't bother.
I cut them, crushed them all down.
See, you gotta not only take the drain pans off, you gotta separate them, you gotta cut the ends off, then you gotta cut the steel plate in between the loops on it, right? And then they call that, once you have it at that point, they call that a clean copper radiator.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you want to get the highest dollar for.
You get, I think, 30 cents more on the pound without the metal on it.
Oh yeah, I don't have time for all that. I barely have time to cook myself dinner.
I know, it's true.
You know?
When it's busy, it's busy.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's all right.
Rick,
though.
I was gonna say, do you have some native in you?
So, well, why native?
I don't know. You looked
Indian?
a little native when you showed that picture on the screen. I was just curious.
No,
No?
no.
Yeah.
I actually did one of those DNA tests. I don't have that. No,
Okay,
Like-
gotcha.
I was kind of surprised of it. So yeah,
He looked like
Curious.
a lightly browned marshmallow.
Kim Jong-un.
yeah.
Imagine you're linked with Kim Jong or Trump's or some Masonic government. Anyways,
Well,
a
that little
fat
dark
Buffalo
hole you're in,
Indian.
and you got the beard, and you got the hood over. You kind of like Osama going on there, man.
Yeah. No, it is.
Jihad.
Jihad. Jihad.
How long you
Gotta
growing your
love it.
beard, Joe? You going all the way?
I want to see how, I think I'm starting to finally, that past that stage when it's all crinkly and coming out too much, and you're like, oh, it looks like Rick said, jibab or whatever. So I'm finally past that stage. So I'm starting to get it grow down. So I'm
You're growing everything. You're not trimming it at all right now.
not lately. No,
Yeah, don't trim it, man.
I'm still
I
trimming.
won't.
I'm trimming.
I made
Yeah.
a few mistakes in the early onset of beard growing.
So I'm not doing a good job.
and it haunts you because
Because what you want to do when you're initially growing a beard to look less stupid is you want to taper the sides, so you don't have the
Gotcha.
big fluffy sides.
yeah,
But what happens is when the rest of it gets nice and long and beautiful, then your sides are still short and stupid looking because you tapered them the whole time.
gotcha.
So just let that shit grow. You're gonna look stupid for a while, but
So that's
I
what
know.
I recommend. I mean, I don't think he's going for ZZ Top though.
sure,
I don't know.
everybody should.
I think my hair is different. It grows this way. It's like I have African in me. I think like it
Huh.
grows like a fromo.
I don't think you do, Joe.
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
Hey, Joe, I mean, I saw you with your freaking your classified ad with the BBC.
yeah,
I think
BBC.
you do have African in you, one way or another.
yeah. Let's get the
Oh my
NAACP on the phone and see what they think of this idea.
I sure got some African in me in a few places, bud.
Yeah, like a few alleyways.
God, I don't want to.
Is that where you
Where
had
is
some
this
African
gone?
in you?
But anyways, so over here today, I don't know about you guys down there, but they lifted restrictions at Home Depots and like stores like stores like that, I guess you want to call it. And you try to go into these Home Depots and there's like lineups around the parking lot. It's crazy.
Oh
It-
yeah.
Imagine having the job prior to when they opened it up at Home Depot, where the two people are just standing at the door counting the people to let them in.
Is that what they're doing? They're counting like a
Yeah.
club in the day?
Because if there's too many people, they stop you from going in.
Yeah, you
Wow.
can't have a certain amount of people according to your what are they? I forget
It's
the name
based
of
off your
that.
square footage of the building, like
Yeah.
Menards, which you guys may not have where you're at,
No.
but they are allowed, I think, 800 people, and then there's a Myers, which I know you got curious up there.
Mhm.
Myers, they've got like several hundreds, but yet Lowe's, it was like real super ass low. It made no sense.
I just want to know. Imagine hiring a couple stupid people to be the counters, right? And then you have a couple people at the exit door because they have interest and exit. They only let you in one way and out one way. So the entire time they're counting people, and the other people are counting people, and you're talking back and forth between a microphone or walkie-talkie or whatever.
Yeah.
We're at 550. All right, one just came out, 549. One just came in. Imagine that day. It's just gotta suck, right?
Oh
I would
yeah.
get so bored. I'd be playing on my phone. Like, what was it? How many? I don't know.
They're-
Fuck, man,
they're
I
eventually
lost
they're-
count.
Yeah. They're eventually gonna get like customer counts and they're gonna have a number and you have to wait at the door with a red light. Give you the go ahead.
Mhm.
It's
Vlogger here. Sorry I missed your message, man. Just got home some crazy hours. Man, I tried to get a hold of him yesterday.
He's wearing
He's
Chris.
been working since yesterday.
Chris is
Email me your phone number. That way I can just text you and I can find out quicker. I literally was like waiting till last minute thinking, man, I hope he freaking calls back because I ain't got a backup plan. Then I'm
Well,
like, I asked the wife, I said, I'm just going to go live. Screw it. Let's see what happens.
And you got
what's the
some
worst that can
feelings,
happen?
vlogger. Don't worry, we got your back, vlogger.
I was like, I called Joe too, but I don't have Joe's phone number either. Shit.
Nobody
I don't know. I'll get hold of anybody. Damn, this sucks.
I don't even know
he's
if
got
I
a
had your
brand new
email. Where's the private chat? I'll send you my phone number and email. Bill doesn't like sending his personal information because he thinks everyone's a serial killer.
Most of them are.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, you got to click on the bottom right corner. How long ago did you say? Do you hear the echo? I didn't even see that.
Oh, that was years ago.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I noticed because there was still an echo after I said it. I'm like, yeah, nobody's paying attention.
Oh, that's the okay. That's your email.
And then Joe leaves.
Yep.
This is
A dirtbag.
the story of our life.
That's what happens when you start grilling them. Like, hey, Joe, can we have your phone number so we can communicate with you? They go, oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah. What's your name? Yep.
Yeah.
George, cell phone plan.
Sorry, guys. No. I go do something. And just
Come on, you got free healthcare and you can't afford a cell phone, Joe.
I have a cell phone.
Hey, have they come to your house yet? Come take all your guns yet and all your war weapons and everything?
You heard about that, eh?
Oh, hey. I heard you guys had some mass shooting or something. You killed 3 or 4 people.
That was more east in Quebec. No, they haven't. Sorry, Nova Scotia. What am I talking about? They stiffened the gun laws. I think what is it, automatic or something? They can't. I can't remember.
Almost everything's automatic nowadays.
I know it's true, but I don't know how he's getting away with it. Honestly, I think he might get some slack from that, but it's not prevalent like it is in the U.S. So who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I thought you guys were only allowed to have a 22 and it had to be kept at the police station or something.
No, get out of here.
Seriously, that's what I was told, that you had to come sign it out and you were allowed to have a 22, but it had to be kept at the police station. You had to sign it out and stuff.
Needs a permission.
No. You have a lockbox at home. You could, if you have your license, your gun license, you're allowed to I think mostly everything. You were.
What should I put it down for last name for Adam there? I don't even know what the name of your company is.
Seeger.
Eager.
Yeah.
Throw it in there. I can put it in there because I got shit tons of Adams.
I'm the alpha and the omega.
Oh gosh. You have to tell me later how the hell do you say that. That's kind of a one that's a little more difficult. I'm horrible with names though.
We take the word muffin and bitch and put them together.
Yeah.
It looks like Moofitch.
It's true.
No, it's not. It's muffin and bitch.
In high school, they called them the muffin bitch.
The Muffin Man.
That's all right. You probably can't figure mine out either. Mine's goofy as shit.
When I was younger, they would call me what do you call them? Muffin Man. They would call me Muffin Man. Once I was in high school, then me and my brother and my sister, everyone called us Muff. We were like, hey,
Yeah.
Muff, you know. So,
What was it in The Simpsons? What beer was it?
Duff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Duff beer.
Yeah, Duff. Okay. Duff, Muff. I don't know, trying to think of something.
Stop swearing on Rick's channel. I forget where we're at.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'll leave this one up. What can we say?
This is like the same thing on as Ted when he comes on with us. He's like
Gay.
he's super politically correct on his own channel. He comes over here, he's like super gay. Totally.
Totally gay.
Me or who?
Ted.
No, no filter.
Chris is like very prim and proper on his channel, and then he comes over by us. He's got his feet on his desk. Hold on, I gotta get another beer.
This guy's white t-shirt on with stains all over it. And a hole where the nipple is. Drinking beer. Such a
Yeah, he's
slob.
relaxed. I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, I kind of, like I said, I try to keep pretty clean on mine. I mean, I never know who's watching it. I mean, the whole company knows I do it, and most of them gave it, didn't like it at first, and then they didn't give a crap. Now they don't even watch. So it's like,
Yes, I don't think anybody from my company watches
I mean,
our.
you do it all week. Do you really want to do it more and watch it? I mean, you got to really be into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it prior to coming to where I'm at. I was bored with it, and then I got this whole re-energized thing, and that's why I enjoy again what I'm doing. So
The sad thing is,
Good. You got a second wind.
doing our live streams, I'm critiquing what I'm doing to try to make the live stream. So I not only do the live stream, I freaking rewatch the live stream, which is awful.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I can't rewatch any of them. I don't think I've ever rewatched any of them other than a few seconds.
I'll watch
can
my
do
videos
it.
3, 4, 5 times. And
Yeah,
what sucks is I'll get a question on it
you
several weeks later, and
you
it's like,
gotta
what the
rewatch.
hell are they talking about? And it's like, then you got to go back through and try to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Do you respond to all your comments, Rick?
I try to because I want to show them that I appreciate them.
Yeah. See, I've been trying to.
You know,
lately.
I hate just giving them a heart and that. I try to at least acknowledge them so that they know that I actually care and I'm not just posing that you know. Because I mean, I honestly, I really enjoy the conversation with the people. I mean, they took the time to watch it, you know, and I think it's kind of
sometimes
cool.
good ideas.
Yeah. See, that's why I was originally doing it. I've kind of been backing away from doing the comments just because I don't know, everything that I do, I'm taking away more time from my family with every new project that I do. And then I'm like, you know what? I think those comments can wait.
Yeah, I just don't care about my family, so it's not a big deal.
See?
You guys are putting on a good show.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, no, my family, my kids are my boy's married now and moved out. My daughter just moved out. And
How old are you? You don't look that old, Rick.
I got married at 23, and like I said, I always looked younger, but I mean, with losing the weight, the wrinkles and stuff made me look worse. But I mean, yeah,
you know,
like I said, I'll be 45, but.
I was saying on chat, Rick, that you look like a mover. You know, look like a go kind of guy at work. You know, you like to work, hustle. So I don't see you gaining that much weight. You know what I mean? It seems like
I'm flexible. I was a healthy fat guy. I mean, I just kept moving and moving. And so I mean,
you should have seen him, Joe. Did you see a fat picture of him?
Sorry,
what's that?
Did you see the fat picture of him?
Yeah, I did.
So Rick, did you like?
It wasn't that bad.
Did your pace increase after you lost the weight, or did you maintain the same?
I think I days off because I mean, there's times. I mean, I'm slow at what I do because I want to make sure it's right, and then plus with the way we're paid, you know, if we screw up, we got to eat it. I mean, I'm paid good for it more than hourly, but you know, if I screw up, I got to eat it. So. I'm always trying to make sure everything's done perfect and everything else, which that takes more time. And
what do you mean eat it? Like
he's got to go back
at the cost
for free. He's got to go back on his own
time.
You
serious?
I hate saying the word commission because there's so many dishonest companies out there that screw people. But we're commission based. I get a percentage of whatever we bring in. So
makes sense.
But it's, you know, we only charge $65 an hour. So I mean, but we charge as we drive. We charge a trip charge on top of that.
Well,
58 cents a mile.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for the guy that's next door to us, it's not much. You know, I could be there for an hour and it might cost him $90. But if I go somewhere that's 45 minutes away, I'm charging him 45 minutes over, 45 minutes back, plus the hour I'm there, plus the, you know, 30,
Part
40 bucks for the travel. Before you know it, it adds up real quick. I mean, every minute's counted for there. To the point where, you know, where I was at before, it was like $55 just to pull in the driveway. Then it was $50 an hour. But, you know, it just added up really quick. But we make our money off our installs. Cause I mean, you know, like I was looking at one job, it was $60,000, $80,000, you know, tower. And then, you know, we may do a whole freaking nursing home that we're there for 2 years. I mean, it's like
oh, wow.
Yeah, we're pretty good size. I mean, I barely even know half the installers. I mean, those guys start at like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. I don't go till 7:30, you know? So, I mean, yeah, it was this picture. I think that was the one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not that bad. I don't know.
I pulled my pants up high so it hides it underneath there. But when you look at the face shot.
Yeah,
with the Kim Jong-un haircut.
I mean, I just got back I was at I don't know what it was, like a lock-in or whatever, and they had all kinds of food, and oh my God, I ate like a hog right beforehand, and I gained 5 pounds in like 3 days. So I was a little puffed up worse than normal.
Is that why you're taking the picture? Like, wow, I ate like a champ.
I'm going to go as bad as I can get, and then I'll see how good I look when I'm done.
That's right.
I'm going to take a picture right after I get stung by a bee.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's been an interesting journey. I mean, I still eat my chicken wings and stuff like that, and you know, I don't starve. I mean, I'm hungry during the day sometimes, but it's only because I ate stuff that was sugary.
You know, they just are. They're not open yet, but they just built. They're opening right by me. That Raising Cane's chicken. So,
yeah, we got that in Columbus. It's pretty good stuff.
So
actually, it's just called Cane's chicken. I thought, wasn't it?
Maybe it's Canes. I don't know. I thought.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. They've had that when I went to Generac training. They had it down there, and they ordered from them. And then some City Barbecue was another one. Around here, we don't have anything special. I mean, we got the usual boring, Applebee's and things like that. I mean, we're like the fast food capital here. It's like all there is to do here is eat. It's very boring. We don't have all the cool party things they do like they have in Canada.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, it's not bad here, I have to admit. We don't have as many restaurants choices you guys have, that's for sure. Because you guys
How big's
name
your
all
city you're at?
Toronto.
big.
Oh, you're in Toronto, so that's like your capital, ain't it?
No, Ottawa's our capital.
Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I like it. I know Adam's trying to push me to come there. Maybe one day. Who knows? But
We can
I don't
sneak you
right-
in, man.
I know.
We'll get you through the border.
It's honestly right. It would be cool, but I don't know. I'm happy right now here. Who knows what the future holds?
Joe's a hydronic badass.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. I try to be.
I mean,
Try to be everything the best you
I got
can.
a steam boiler I got to cut my teeth on. That was a little bit of fun.
Oh,
Because, we're a refrigeration company by heart. And although some of the guys have got steam experience, it's not near the level of the refrigeration is. So, I mean, I had this old YMCA that's like 60, 70 years old. And I got pipes that are leaking. And this thing's a wildebeest. Nobody else wanted it. The thing's falling apart, and they threw it on me. And
One
it's like,
pipe or
oh,
two
great.
pipe steam?
Huh?
One pipe or two pipe?
This one, it's got pumps, so I'm gonna say probably two, but I'm thinking it might be single. I'm trying to remember. It's got a return path, so I think it might be a two pipe. It's got two boilers back to back. They're in a shared header.
Oh, wow.
It's a disaster. I mean,
They have
that's an old system, you could
they
tell.
have traps or vents.
yeah, they've got some traps on it because we had one that wasn't working right, and then
You could rebuild those. I'm trying to remember what's the name, Joe, of the company that makes the rebuild kits.
Oh, jeez, I can't tell you right now.
Console or something.
Something like that. But I feel like gas fitters or HVAC guys, steam fitters. I feel like sometimes they get danger pay on top of their pay sometimes because it is dangerous when you think about it. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. I'm not going to tell you who called me, but I might have told this already before. But I'm just going to admit the name.
Yeah.
Somebody called me that is not familiar with boilers. All right, from the south.
Go
Yeah.
on.
I know who it is.
Well,
That narrows it down
it's
to
probably
bone
not
meals.
who you think it is, but
anyways, go on.
anyways, he was working on a steam boiler and he's like, this thing's not heating real well. And I'm just wondering, what do you think I should set this pressure at? He's like, I got it running right now. And it's at 15 PSI. And I'm like, oh my good Lord, shut it down. Turn it off.
That's what I walked into.
Oh,
The floor was completely flooded.
See, that's why I want to work there. Right
That
there.
is a disaster.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see how old the heads are there. And then
I walk into a house and air is all over the floor, ruining everything. Nope.
yeah, because there's two of the boilers.
Yeah, but
I don't know if you can
hold
see
on.
through all the shit that is on the
Pump
screen.
break, Bill. Steam is a different monster than water, okay?
But it's low
Steam-
pressure. I mean, this is only these are 15 max,
The-
but I think they're only running like 2 or
pipe-
3.
The pipes on steam rot a lot faster than water, right? Because
Well, especially if they create condensation, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
So you don't have steam. You don't have to worry about that. Just keep your water in your boiler. You don't have to worry about pipes rotting.
So I shouldn't change it out every month.
No.
Well, this one here, it never got skimmed, and then the water treatment's totally garbage, and then the insides is all rusted up, and then you'll get this scum on top of it, and next thing you know, I found that you just after a couple months, you got to drain the boiler and just start all over again.
Yeah.
And, and it's got the big Honeywell controller. I had to buy one of those on eBay because them are expensive, so you can even see what the heck's going on.
flame control. Oh, that one.
What does it have for the water level control? Does it have like a?
It's got the traditional. Well, the one has electronic one plus a water float, and the other one is just got the water float, and then it's got 3 of the pressure controls on it with the mercury switches inside there. I mean,
So
it was kind of a learning thing because I mean, I worked on a Cleaver Brooks that was like 6 million BTU at a factory, but
Wow.
I didn't get to do much with it. And then since that time, I hadn't done anything that big. And like that was 20 years ago. So I mean, it's just like the refrigeration racks. I did that 20 years ago, and I didn't
That's
even
what
really have much more than 3 or 4 months at it. So I mean, it's
that's something I
all
like about you, Ricky. You would jump in on anything, and that's awesome. Nothing should hold you back. I think with anybody, just go
Well,
in.
I think the four of us are in the same boat.
True.
We're like minded. Like
Yeah.
if something interests one of us, like we're not afraid to say no, or afraid to say yes, I guess, right?
Mhm.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but that's where it kind of sucks too with being the commission base. So if you make a mistake, sometimes
the thing.
it kind of sucks. But I told him like on the ice cream stuff, I had no experience with ice cream prior to doing it. And I'm like, look, if you want me to do this, I'm not getting called on callbacks because I'm not going to know what I'm doing off the bat. So just so you know up front, as soon as you screw me on one of those, I'm done. You can find somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, we
Yeah.
can pick and choose our calls if we want. If we don't want to do it, I wouldn't say pick our calls, but we can choose whether we accept the call or not.
Sure.
Because like, if we'll have when I do a compressor change, or whatever, I tell them how many hours I want for it. And if I get done quicker than that, I still get paid the hours that it was quoted for. But if
Yeah,
I
you
take too
should.
long, I have to eat that. So,
Eat
I
it.
mean, it's just like owning your own business, basically, is what my
Yeah.
boss told me. He goes, it's the closest you're going to come to owning your own business because you're going to take the responsibility that the owner's going to take. You're going to have to try to do these things in a certain time frame that you're quoting. And it works to my advantage. I mean, I'm doing really good with it, and I
That's
probably
right.
have maybe 2 or 3 callbacks a year. That
Yeah,
maybe I'll lose a couple hours, maybe 6 hours, or like
Yeah,
on
no
one.
biggie.
Hmm?
No biggie. But the owner, you got to admit, the owner is gaining too for that.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's just a matter of like, hey, I'm going to go run this random call that I know nothing about, right? Like,
no,
if you have something that your company does, what I always have done, and I know Bill does this because when we're having conversations, half the time he's freaking reading books and crap. If you don't know something, you try to better yourself and research on YouTube, reading
Anything,
online,
yeah.
reading books, whatever. So like, I didn't know boilers. I always wanted to know boilers. My grandpa knew boilers. My dad didn't know boilers. So I was never taught boilers. So I read a lot of Dan Houlihan's books. Now I know boilers. Now I'm pretty freaking decent at boilers, right? I didn't know geothermal. And I went through classes. I took, tests. I did all kinds of crap. And now I'm okay with geothermal. Steam boilers is a whole nother animal from hot water boilers, right? Like you just
like
have to go through
opposites.
the pace of, if you want to learn something, go through the motions of doing it. I don't think any of us are just going to randomly walk on what are you going to do? Walk up to a service call and be like, okay, I'm going to work on a steam boiler blind and have no freaking clue what.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm going to go work
No.
on a chiller tomorrow. You know?
And see, I just went through a chiller class,
Except-
3 days. It's the same one I went through before. Then I never worked on one for 2 years, 3 years. And that's what sucks with me getting switched on call to where because we got.
Why even send you to the class if you're not going to get, calls for it then?
I don't know. I mean, I went out. I'm not going to be. I think my biggest thing is that my mind is my own worst enemy. I literally psych myself out on some of it, and I always expect the most worst thing that could possibly be wrong with it. So,
Yeah.
and then
we all
I
do.
always want everything to be so darn perfect that, I can't just go there and fix the burnt wire. No, I got to go through and maybe clean this up, change the contactor, check the charge, find the oil a little low. I just find all this other crap because I want it to be perfect when I leave. And sometimes I dig myself a hole.
Yeah. Sometimes you just can't make it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You're
can.
pretty darn close, but
Josiah says you got to blow down the steam boilers. You do with the float, right? You have to.
Yep.
You got to make sure you don't build up any garbage on the float. And the pigtail, that's another big thing. Your pigtail gets clogged up. Pigtail on top of your McDonnell Miller, the float, right? Your pigtail to your pressure troll on the top, and your pigtail.
Oh, the pigtail. Okay, I got what you're saying.
That will get clogged up with crap, and then your pressure troll will be monitoring nothing.
Like one of the guys said, he just replaces them. I guess they're not so very expensive, and he
No,
just
I'd rather-
replace them.
No. Yeah.
If I'm there every year, I'll just blow it out and I'll clean it if it's a normal customer. But if it's like a random, where I've never been there and I try to clean it or whatever and it's not cleaning, I'll just I'll just replace it. Period.
I find with steam back in the day, like I don't see it too much anymore, but it seems like a lot of guys had the habit of just raising pressure. It seems whenever there was an issue,
Oh, that
pressure.
was my story before with the guy that
It's-
called me.
it's like opposite.
I think it was 15 pounds. He said, and I'm like, good God, shut that thing down right away.
It doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
suck the water right up, and it doesn't make
And
sense.
he's like, he's from the South, and he's like, my boss said that's a good pressure for it to be running. I'm like, call your boss. I don't care if you tell him he's wrong. Send somebody.
Was it like 3 to 5 psi?
Yeah, for steam, it's
no,
15 is going to be your max.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to be blowing
no.
at.
All right,
you can be less than that.
the Empire State Building runs at less
Half?
than 1 pound. It's like a half a pound of steam. The
Yeah.
Empire
Really?
State Building runs at a half a pound of steam. Period.
Yeah.
So if you could run the Empire State Building on that, you could run any house and 8 ounces of steam. Right?
Yeah.
You're not even be running over a pound. Period.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Wild.
that's the funny thing, that with all these boilers, they send these crappy Honeywell pressure trolls, right? And what I usually do is I replace them. If I'm installing a steam boiler, I put in a vapor stat, because the vapor stat has a lot bigger of a range and they show ounces.
Differential.
instead
Yeah,
of PSI, right?
it's a good idea.
Yeah, the Hartford loop. That was one thing I learned long ago, was the why the Hartford loop was important, how that
Sure, Rich.
boiler exploded.
Well, hey guys,
Yeah.
coming up right in real quick. I just realized it's midnight. How long you guys been doing this?
2 hours,
2 hours
and
and
35
30.
minutes. I had no
Wow.
intention of being. I thought maybe I'd be lucky if I could make 20 minutes, but yeah.
That's what happens. What happens? You're having
Well,
fun. It goes by.
Hang out.
People
now.
started popping in, man. I didn't care. I didn't have nothing else to do.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the conversation, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks for
sorry.
having us, or me.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get me some food, man.
Thanks,
Food,
chat.
you're gonna eat.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to eat this
Yeah.
late.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my bad habits, Rick. It's why I'm getting fat.
Ah, well.
It literally is one of my habits I'm trying to break. But then I do these all-nighter things where I watched a movie, hung out with the family, missed dinner, and then I jumped on here. I'm like, crap, I still haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh well.
I ate
Oh,
a
well.
lot. I'm surprisingly not hungry for the first time ever, because I ate pizza and I had my wings and had a
Change.
salad and everything else. So
Changed
It's like
my
your body
behavior.
adapts, you know?
yeah, I enjoyed
hey,
life for once. You
See
know.
you guys.
Yeah.
So
Peace.
all right, guys. Cool.
Happy
You guys ready to
Mother's
hop
Day.
out too?
Yes, for
All
sure.
right, cool. Well, I
I feel the
appreciate y'all
cold.
coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Rick.
Time.
No problem.
Anytime.
Well, thanks, viewers out there. Appreciate y'all coming in and stuff. Hopefully, didn't bore you to death or anything like that. If you would, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. I hope to try to get a couple other guys in here. We'll do this again next Saturday at 9:30 area. So until next time, we'll catch you then. Thanks for coming. Good night.